Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and I know this is normally my gaming stream, but I got monetized today, so I decided to do a last minute celebration, just hanging out with some cool people, and I just want to celebrate it. This isn't me trying to say, hey, test the system. No, I've already tested it, so I'm just here to celebrate with you guys because the chat, you guys got me here, so this is just as much for you guys, and eventually it might devolve into a gaming stream at the end, but I have a lot of guests who may or may not be joining us, but until then, I'm joined as ever by OBG70. Mike, what is going on, my man?
Yeah, today's been crazy. I purchased the ultimate license for Fantasy Grounds so I can start purchasing the modules and eventually dungeon master some games. So looking forward to doing that. And as far as just around the house, I've been busy all day organizing my old 8-bit computer collection, old Atari games and consoles. And I'm going to get rid of some of them because I just have too many. And it's time for me to let some things go. And I'm going to use the money that I get from that to purchase some of the bundles for Fantasy Grounds so that I'll have that going. And I'm thinking about maybe Pathfinder 2, Pathfinder 2E, which is very similar to 5E, which is why I was asking you before the stream started. Because it's goblins with hand grenades looks really cool to me.
Well, it'll be really cool to see you as a DM. I'm looking forward to that.
More role play. More role play. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the story, so that's what I enjoy more is the role playing portion of it. So yeah,
I'll wear costumes. I'll have mood music and some ambience here. I'll get my fog machine in here. It'll be pretty cool. We'll see. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we are also joined by Dermy Wormy once again. What is going on, my man? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
It feels like it's been a very long time. No, I've just been at my human job, doing all that fun stuff, drilling on a pellet die, and looking up articles for today to do a video later, and then set up a video for tomorrow afternoon. So awesome. That's pretty much my day.
Great. Well, we also have a great chat with us. We're actually doing some pretty decent numbers for starting out a stream. Really good numbers for me. So hail you guys. Looks like Jaden Hamilton is in the chat. Hello, my friend. And Dermy Wormy. And this is a question for somebody else, but is 5e woke?
Hail, yeah. Adam.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll answer that in a second. Adam, what is going on, my friend? I feel like I don't see you anymore.
I know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You didn't have to run the gauntlet. You got through the first time. Dude, I mean, yeah, dude, I'm happy for you, man. Now you just got to wait 3 weeks for your special code to come.
Yeah, for that.
That's snail mail. Yay.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to happen. Like YouTube said, this would take weeks. You said
it doesn't take
months,
days.
And so I'm just like, you know what? I'll do a celebration stream whenever that happens. It'll give me a nice window between the 1K stream and this stream to put some time between them. But I just got the notification today. I'm like, screw it. I'm already going live.
Go for it. Yeah, I mean the examination of the channel literally just takes days, like 72 hours at best, and. I mean, you said you were already pruning ahead of this, right? You were already pruning.
Yeah, just the copyright stuff. That was the only thing I was keeping an eye out.
Good idea, and clearly, they had no problem with what you had. So, I mean, congratulations, man, getting through it like that, nice and easy. The stress is not even going to be there. So,
yeah. Well, the only thing that they had a problem with was actually the 1K stream. That's the only thing that got limited.
Yeah, a lot of things. Yeah, when I went through a lot of things, especially streams, all got limited. But if you 9 times out of 10, if you just say manual check, they turn it.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, so I'm just waiting on that. But we actually have our first super chat of the night. My first, and thank you, Salty Texas C. Great to have you here. Congratulations, very well earned, dude. I appreciate that, man. You've been here through a lot of it with me as well, so I appreciate you being here and help get me this far. So. It's awesome. And yeah, I wanted to keep things a lot more casual than it was on Sunday. And I'm not prepared with topics as many as I had. There's a few things that we can go over, but I wasn't planning on this stream. It was going to be a gaming stream. But I do have a few things, and we have a lot of guests coming. Oh, and we also have another super chat from a member of the panel, Dermy Wormy, for the monetization. Thank you, my friend.
You're very welcome.
That's awesome. So, yeah, as the other people come in, I shotgun this out to way too many people, but it's never been a problem before.
I've done that. I ended up with, what do you call it, the Hollywood Squares thing happening, and Be careful. He gets
Well,
away from you real quick.
Yeah. Well, the big news that is just came out today that we can talk about is the pushing back of Blade and pretty much all of Phase 5.
Yeah, that's my first
That,
video tomorrow. That is my
Mhm.
first video tomorrow. Yeah, that's a sign of weakness. Sign of
Mhm.
weakness.
Well, they just announced Deadpool. They just barely did, and it was the biggest Marvel news so far this year, and it's already changed.
Think about it like this. This is She-Hulk's big week. This is She-Hulk's big week,
Oh.
season finale that nobody cares about. And what are they doing? They're basically shitting on their entire Phase 5 and Phase 6 lineup. And that's all anybody's going to talk about for the next 3 days into Rings of Power. And then Rings of Power is going to be anybody talks about. She-Hulk is going to go out with a wet fart. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe it's to cover up how bad She-Hulk is going to do on Thursday.
I think it's just because it's all falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
They have nothing else.
Mm-hmm. Well, it did coincide with, we knew that the Blade director had dropped out like a week or two ago, right before filming, and so it seems to be a symptom of that problem. So I don't know how much things are connected, but no matter what, it's absolutely a sign of weakness that they have directors dropping like flies. Pretty much every product that they're coming out with is having directorial problems, besides Taika Waititi, and that's
And
not.
he was a problem. He is a
He
problem.
was the problem.
Well, and it is falling apart. And the directors leave because anybody that wants a chance to be something, they quickly learn that when you're plugged into a Disney MCU project or a Disney Lucasfilm project, you're either going to do what the corporation tells you or you're not. You're not going to get to direct the whole movie. You're going to get to direct the little sections they tell you to do. And boom, bang, pow, you like it or leave it. And you can have like Deborah Chow, who was lauded for all her greatness, and then the movie tanked. And where has she been since then?
Right. No, she's off to direct the second one.
Yeah, right.
Supposedly, at least.
Yeah.
But this makes it so that it's going to be another 2.5 years before we see the next Avengers movies, making it, 6 years in between Endgame and the next Avengers movies? That's
Is it
sad.
6 years?
Oh, 2019 to 2025?
Is it 2025? I thought they moved one of them back to 2026.
They did the Secret Wars, but Kang Dynasty stayed in May. That was the only really Phase 5 one, that the later Phase 5 ones that didn't move at all. But we still have the great and marvelous Marvels, and so that's just around the corner. Aren't we all so excited for that? Is that going to save the MCU?
No, Deadpool's going to save the MCU.
It's going to make a lot of people a lot of money, though. Just not Disney.
MCU people, yeah. I'm out after She-Hulk. I'm out. She-Hulk was a one-time thing with current MCU for me because the channel voted for it, but I'm out. It's not worth my time. It's not worth my effort. And I don't care. I do not care. I got 20 movies over there that I can watch anytime I want that are still solid.
Yep. Well, I'm definitely not checking out Black Panther. Guardians is the only one that I'd have to see some news closer to the release and hear some trusted sources on whether or not it's good before I decide to. But
it's the outlier. It's the one that we've all considered the possible outlier in all of this, because
give me a moment.
Whatever you think about James Gunn, he can make a good movie and he can write a good script. And and that group in the Guardians camp, that's his game. They came up together. He knows how to make the best use of them, and they give good performances for him. So that's because that's a holdover from the MCU was good. That's a holdover. So that's the outlier, complete outlier.
And I think the best thing for us to predict whether or not that movie will be good will actually be the hour-long Christmas special that they filmed at the same time as Guardians 3 that's coming out in a couple months. That, since it was filmed at the same time, if there was any studio interference, it would have applied to both. If there was any wokeness, it would most likely be applied to both. So depending on how that Christmas special lands will give us a clearer idea of how that movie will land in general next year. So,
and they're doing another Groot thing, apparently.
Are they? I thought it was just that one mini season.
I saw maybe it was just an advertisement for it. I swear I saw something goes, there might be more Groot on the way, and it's just like, no.
Well, it was 6 10-minute episodes with no story. It was just him being cute for an hour. It's ridiculous.
Made for us. Made for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just so much empty and vapid content. I think that's the bigger issue. Is there's no soul or no point behind a lot of this, and Groot is a great example of that. Even the kid stuff is just being, oh, he's just dancing. It's cool, isn't it, guys? He's being cute. She-Hulk, she's just big and green and feminist.
Slut.
What else does it mean? Yeah, slut.
Slut. How many times am I going to say that word this week? Slut.
Well, with the Reddit community or whatever that's the villain of the season, you're probably going to get a lot more of it in this last episode, because apparently that's the big season finale. The season antagonist.
They're teasing that Hulk and Abomination get a rematch. How is that possible? He's off planet. I don't get it. I didn't watch the trailer.
They can't do World War Hulk now. They already did it in Ragnarok. That they can't do it now.
Yeah,
especially
I don't
Smart
know.
Hulk.
The whole thing is She-Hulk is a disaster. Yet I have somebody coming in and saying, "Oh, you don't understand. It's comedy. It's good. Look at this. Look at this guy. These people, they don't get it."
Somebody actually thinks She-Hulk is funny. Well,
yes.
Let me rephrase that. It is funny. It's funny to watch them fail.
Yeah. And my response was, "Yeah, enjoy your season 2. That's not going to happen."
God, if there's a season 2, there's no God.
If there is a season 2, I will go back for seconds. I say that now, because if I'm already did one, I can do a second one, but there's no season 2. There's no season 2. This thing's been an unmitigated disaster.
Yeah. Well, there's a season 2 of Loki, and that was pretty bad too. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier got a movie.
But go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Season 2 of Loki is because it was a wet dream.
Mm-hmm.
People went in to watch it because I can never remember the guy's name, but they thought
Tom
he's
Hiddleston.
Hot. Yeah, they think Tom Hiddleston's hot.
That's true.
And Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was their second show, so it still got decent numbers. They thought maybe WandaVision was just crap. So,
WandaVision did pretty well. Of all of them, I think it was the best one.
That's because that was the honeymoon period. It was the honeymoon period. Everybody's high off Endgame, whether you liked it or not. Everybody's high off of that. And remember, Coof happened. And everybody knows that all those shows were not meant to hold everybody steady with their MCU fix.
Because all the movies got delayed.
Then Disney got it in their head, hey, let's just keep cranking these out. Everybody, we managed to do Emperor's New Clothes for 2 seasons, or 2 shows or 3 shows if you count Wanda, Loki, and Falcon Winter Soldier. They managed Emperor's New Clothes because the stands were at their height of their power during that. They were at the height of their power. They were trying to smash us left and right as we told them, shut up. And then what happens? One flop after another in the theater.
Yeah.
And
well, funnily enough, WandaVision's actually what broke me. I was virtually a stan before that finale.
Oh, really?
I love those first 3 episodes. Everyone that I knew personally, they hated those ones, and then they loved the later ones. And so a lot of people I knew gradually grew to love it. I gradually grew to hate it, and that was my breaking point. It's like, all right, is the MCU dead? I'm not going to have this rosy filter, at least. I'm going to take things based on logic now. And that was my breaking point for at least that franchise.
Far From Home was mine. It's like it almost felt like Spider-Man, and I was like, yep, no, it wasn't. I'm out.
I thought WandaVision just ended poorly, but for me it was Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Although it did give me one of my new favorite heroes, that was inadvertent. They were trying to make him a villain.
We have a special guest, and I know I played this video a few times for you, but this is his video. This is his introduction.
Not even once?
Well, I mean, I've had sex before. Just, never with a person.
That is right, never with a person.
Hail, Biggles Mets. You have joined the crowd. What is going on, my friend?
I just moved a whole bunch of shit into my house, and I dropped my glasses somewhere, so I can't read any of the chat. That's what's up.
All right. Well, I don't believe you've met anyone here. Biggles here is the hype man for RK Outpost. He's always dealing with Ryan-related stuff. And Biggles, this is Adam the Renaissance.
That's a full-time job.
It's fun. It's awesome.
Biggles, we've got Adam the Renaissance nerd here next to you.
He's the one who had Edelgard on the TV yesterday, right? 2 days ago or whatever.
Well, Well, yesterday was my live stream was a shit show. Yesterday, my attempted game that was an utter shit show last night. It was bad. Hour and a half of me bitching and moaning about how nothing worked, but I fixed it. I did fix it. But
Nice.
no, that was great. No, I don't know. What did I have on that? You might
Edelgard from Fire Emblem.
No, not me. Not me. I
I
haven't touched a Fire Emblem game in over 20 years.
Oh,
That was not me. Sorry. It's
Well,
okay.
Biggles, we've also got Dermy Wormy. He's big with the Legion of Memers.
Yeah,
Wow,
Sorry.
real professional, man.
sorry. I forgot that this is still on. It was potential spam. You know, we get those every day.
Oh God, it's ridiculous here.
I am with the Legion of Memers, but I know Biggles because I watch all the G&G stuff. I watch Ryan, so I've seen Biggles around. I've just never seen him.
I've
So
I've
this is
seen
my
him in
first
the
stream.
chat.
It's kind of rough seeing him, so I get what the problem is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hurts my eyes too. Seeing me.
He knows how to rescue a stream though. When I was having trouble on a stream, he just jumped up and put his feet on screen and it saved everything.
Yeah, I did.
That was actually a good thing you did that.
You never go full Jack Murphy. You should never have your feet and your face in the same picture.
They said we needed a distraction, so I jumped up, threw my feet up, fell down, and then everybody started laughing and completely forgot.
Yeah,
what
we
Jed
thought
was
you had a
doing.
concussion after that. But
Nah, that
But,
would have been number 12.
number 12. Well, this is also Mike. He's the one here next to me from OBG70. I play D&D with him. He's the one who hosts those that I play with.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, very glad you could meet me, hon.
It's
Such a
an
pleasure.
honor and a privilege.
Well, looks like we have another super chat, a $5 from Jaden Hamilton. Hail, my friend. Hope you find great success with your channel and books. I will do what I can to promote your books. Hail, I really appreciate that, man. You know how much I care about those. Jed, you rock, my man. Thank you. Thank you so very much. And he put the link to my book in chat if anyone is interested. And Lady Bellfire is here. It's great to have her here. There's actually something that I have to show you, Lady B. If you're going to be on the stream later, I'll save it. But if not, I can show it right now. Just let me know. I have something very special for you. I did promise it if I did get monetized. Got a little help to get that done. But yeah, something very special for you, Lady B. But I don't know if you heard what we were talking about, Biggles. Do you have any takes on the whole situation with Blade pushing back most of the later Phase 5 movies, like the Avengers movies, anything like that? Do you see that news?
Yeah, I
No?
saw it, but I have no opinions on it. I don't care. I give no shits. All right, I'm going to go attempt to find my glasses, so I'll be right back.
All right. In a minute, man.
Having your eyes is important.
Yes, very important.
Yeah.
And Tranquil Waters has joined us. I am monetized, Tranquil Waters. Yep, It's working. It's working. But yeah, it's just a crazy time for the MCU. And we've talked about a lot on your channel, Adam, the lifespan of Marvel. And I think this is just more evidence towards it coming sooner than later. Like every new piece of news really just calls for its demise more than it extends its lifetime. Deadpool, I thought might help it a little bit, but if it's already getting pushed back.
Well, when I did my video this morning, I did some Google Trends, and at one point I threw Deadpool 3 in there. It's flatlined already in terms of trending.
Jesus.
Flatlined. It's down. It's below She-Hulk and below Andor, down there with Rings of Power. Nobody's talking about it already. Done.
Because there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
It's a one thing. I can't think of my words right now, but it's a one and done right now. Until you get more information, what else is there to talk about? I mean, I have a theory.
Yeah, you can only watch a YouTube video so many times and then you're done with it.
That it's theorizing. Well, we also have a $10 super chat from Mike.
Not a super chat, sticker.
Super sticker. It's of a dancing cat with love.
Is it a cat? I wasn't quite sure.
I think it's a fox. No, it's a. Oh, it's one of those Japanese dogs. I can't think what they are off the top of my head.
With the fans, the folding fans.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That is awesome, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. Let me know how big of a cut you actually get.
Yeah, I'll have to see how that turns out. But yeah, that's interesting, Adam. I watched your video, but it was kind of in the background. I didn't notice the Deadpool section. I can't believe that
It was 2
it's
seconds.
that-
I was just swapping
that
things in and
low.
out at the end there.
I can't believe it's that low. That really surprises me. I thought there'd just be
Or-
people theorizing or talking shit.
Actually, it might not be in there. It might have been in a part I cut out and
Mm.
redid. I might have actually cut that part out. I'm just remembering from a previous take.
I was
either way.
feeling really bad. It's like, was I not paying attention?
No. Honestly, I think it's from I redid the last couple minutes because I realized I forgot something that was even better. I forgot to put in the Game of Thrones things, which was even better to show that how all of it, how that massive disappointment is trending higher than everything MCU and Lucasfilm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think you did. I edited it out. You didn't miss it. So
Okay.
It was an edit.
And Anna's Gameland has joined us. Hail, if you're not busy, you're welcome to join the stream. I didn't send you an invite on Sunday. I ran out. So if you're interested, just let me know and I'll shoot that to you, Anna. But yeah, no, Deadpool, I figured they'd at least be theorizing about it, but it's more the Dory mentality of these stands. Nothing lasts more than a moment. Like if you asked any of these people who are diehard Kenobi fans, I bet none of them could actually tell you the plot besides, cool lightsabers.
Yeah.
It's
baffling.
Here. Forget everything prior.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It's
they
only
always
current
come out
thing.
and say, yeah, and they always say, oh, it's the best thing since the last thing. They
Mhm.
keep saying that. Like with Love and Thunder, it's the best Marvel movie since Doctor Strange 2. No shit, Sherlock. But it's that one does surprise me because I figured that would breach out of the normal stand mentality and at least get some theorizing going on, like what's going on with Rings of Power. And apparently the Celeborn name drop has gotten people theorizing again. And it's some really dumb stuff. Like I saw someone commenting on Star Wars that Anna, that Star Wars girl, saying that the Stranger was Celeborn. I was like, what evidence do you have for that? You don't know his name, so you assume? It was just like the post was like, I wonder where Celeborn is and what actor that they'll cast for him. And the person commented like, oh, he's already been cast, and it's just a picture of the Stranger. It's like, got some more proof for that?
Are we sure
My
that wasn't a
brain just
troll?
broke.
Are we sure that wasn't a troll?
Well, as Anna responded to her and started mocking that person, and that person freaked out. So
they spurred? Okay, so they spurred that. Well, Anna's good at making people spurg on Twitter. So
she's very good at that. But yeah, no. And then there was that whole one I was telling you about from Lady Gravemaster about how Celeborn was Eitr, and that was just
that one hurt my
so
brain.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's. It takes a lot to be that stupid. It really does.
At some point, do you know how to breathe? That becomes the question.
They have a sticky in front of something reminds them. Remember, breathe.
Can they not think for themselves? Like, have an original thought.
No, I just replied to a comment. Another incel melting down, and it's the download. All they have is the download. Jed, we were talking about this the other day. These people don't even know the insults or the things they're saying. They just regurgitate whatever their masters are telling them to do, whatever the crowd is doing. And now the crowd wants to theorize that all these things are happening in Rings of Power. When we know goddamn well the writers and Payne and McKay, who share a brain, they haven't even thought that far ahead. And I mean, this is the topic for next week, or at least Sunday into next week. This show, Rings of Power, 2, possibly 3 years before the next season, it's going to be memory hold. There's no amount of shilling and propaganda that will resurrect this show when it's going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. And no. And it isn't like the resurgence that people are having with House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones. Remember, I'm agnostic on this. I'm outside it. I do not believe in any of it.
That's a good call for right now.
Well, you know me. I hate Germ to begin with. I never liked Game of Thrones. Never got into it. Didn't like the books when I tried them. So why was I going to House of Dragon? Now, part of me as a YouTuber regrets not doing it because I could have given the not caring review That might have been a good thing in retrospect, hindsight, 2020. Maybe I should have done it for
You do a
content.
season review.
That's what I'm thinking of doing.
Then I'd have to watch it all, and
Yeah.
it would have been better to piecemeal it in my way through because I'm really not interested.
Yeah.
But it would have been the great perspective of the guy who doesn't care. What do
Mhm.
I see? To bridge the gap between those of you who are either lukewarm or hate it, or the people who are ecstatic over it. It would have been an interesting point to give. But my point being, there's no way this comes back.
Mm-hmm.
No way it comes back, and we're just going to sit here. And if it does, well, when it comes back, yes, that's just more money for us.
Yeah. Well,
And now
even
you
on
can-
a
And you can get in on it now.
yeah, I can. Well, even on a smaller scale, it's been interesting to see with the Wheel of Time trying to come back, because even I clipped out our trailer reaction, and there were already people freaking out and saying, "Oh, how can you call yourself a scholar when you go frame by frame and realize that there were like 12 people in that Forsaken shot, so they're not the Forsaken, and you all are stupid, purposely misrepresenting it and not understanding it." I'm just like,
Doesn't
It's like-
matter.
it's called a reaction, not a breakdown.
And all right, let's give a breakdown of that scene then. Even if it is a bastardization of the beginning of the Great Hunt, where Ishi, still in the guise of Baal al-Zaman, with his hood on, pretending to be the Dark One, and all the hooded people are keeping a secret, it's still wrong because he's there as Ishi, not Baal al-Zaman. So it's still wrong. There's your reaction, Stans.
I think my reaction was the best because I know nothing about this, and it just looks stupid to me.
Yeah, that is the correct reaction to all this insanity that's currently going on. And speaking of Jaden Hamilton's comment here, we actually have an article that Mike just shot to me that is exactly what you're talking about here with the Rings of Power that I want to briefly go over. Apparently, this newest
Great
episode...
comments in there. Great quotes.
Biggles, you good?
Yeah, I just couldn't find my glasses, so I'm going to be blind.
They're on
It's
your
all
head.
good.
Are they?
No.
I was really hoping, man. I fucking can't see shit.
Yeah, I took advantage of Costco and got the extra pair, which was good because I scratched my lenses 6 months ago, so I'm glad I had these.
Mm.
I have my work pair and my at-home pair.
I used to do that, but then I started working from home, so hey.
I've got my glasses, but I never wear them unless I'm writing, so they're just always right here next to the computer.
Yeah,
But-
I'm nearsighted. I can't see shit without them.
Well, I know
What
I had them on my drive home, but they're not in my car. They're not on the floor outside my car. They're not. I don't know. I don't know where they are.
Well, we also have JT Gunn, the captain himself, Late Night with Cap, joining us. Hale, what's going on, my friend? We actually went to a Renaissance fair together earlier this year with Biggles, and that was a lot of fun. And he was in
cool.
Vegas, so shout out to Gunn. And we have a new guest as well. The Nerdporial Lifeform has joined the fellowship. What is going on, my friend?
Figured I'd come by and pay tribute. Congratulations, Jed. I mean, you've
appreciate
helped,
that.
You've helped my channel, and I wanted to be here to lend my support. So thanks for having me.
Of course, I appreciate you being here. Well, you come in at the perfect opportunity because we have a new article that actually covers the showrunners of Rings of Power responding to Galadriel being too masculine.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh,
I saw
was gonna do
that.
a video on that. This is gonna
So-
be.
I haven't read it yet, though.
I haven't read it yet either.
I skimmed it.
Yeah, Mike just sent this to me, so I wanted to check it out. I looked at the first couple comments, and they were
Read the
gold,
first
though.
2 sentences, and you're gonna roll your eyes. Just read right. No, after the picture, what these 2 brain dead idiots say right there. Oh my god.
All right. So JD Payne and Patrick McKay were confronted with criticism of Galadriel, noting she acts too masculine and she never went to Numenor. Facts?
Yeah.
That's true. Okay.
But
She's
they
a
have an
lot of
answer. They have an answer.
She's a cunt and she's breaking lore.
Let's see what they've got. I would love to see in Tolkien where it says Galadriel never went to Numenor. That doesn't exist. Oh, it also doesn't say that she has a 10-inch penis, but
Nope.
we can kind of assume that she doesn't. Well, not
Well,
this
she
one, I
carries one
guess.
around with her all the time right now.
Wait.
McKay's response is the best.
Oh, Jesus, he's going to have another one. But the burden of proof is with these guys. It's not, hey, prove that it didn't happen. No, you've got to prove that it did. That's how it works in adaptation and in a lore mentality. Like with the Doctor, like he has a very nebulous history, but it doesn't say, oh, he was once a lizard. It never says he wasn't a lizard, so he can be a lizard. It's like, no, that's one of those things you kind of have to prove first.
You mean he's not one of those lizard people from the center of the earth?
No, the Silurians, they're a little bit separate. All right, what does this is still Pain, I guess. Second, one of her nicknames is Nerwin, which means man maiden, and third, she does not act masculine.
Man,
What? But
that's the response of a 5-year-old. She doesn't act masculine. How about you act like a man? Give me a break. Jesus
So
Christ.
they're
We don't know what a man
they're,
is.
Yeah, I know they don't.
So their whole argument is that that Tolkien never stated that she wasn't from Numenor. Is that basically the that argument?
The usual response.
That's argument from ignorance. That's a fallacy. That's something that everyone should easily dismiss. Right there. There you go.
Mm-hmm. And it's 100% the burden of proof. That's where it'll come down to. Like, we can prove you're wrong, and you can't prove that you're right. So at the end of the day, it's just a nonsensical argument.
Jed, remember this entire show is built on loopholes.
Yes.
And cut corners.
Yeah.
If there's anything actually written about it, they wouldn't be able to do whatever they wanted. So they have to find every single hole, loophole, anything that wasn't said, and write around it. And this is what we have. This is par for the course.
Have.
Yeah, source materials really.
This is awesome right here. I love this paragraph.
These days.
Yeah, I hate the degradation of source material. Canon means something. It's the narrative backbone of broader stories. I mean,
who did that video? Was it Dre?
Yeah, I think he did have a canon. Why canon is important video. Drinker did one as well. That one's incredible. But at the end of the day, when you have multiple products, it's breaking of canon is a plot hole on a bigger scale.
I mean, people want to see adaptations of things that they like. They don't want to see things that are manufactured and of what always ends up to be lower quality. It always is, especially because it's done by half-rated writers who think they can like these guys think they can replicate Tolkien. Like they can't.
No, they're writing the story of Tolkien never wrote.
Yeah, and that is just such an arrogant perspective, especially considering their body of work. Like, they worked in the film industry for over 10 years and barely got any credits to their name. Like, they're incompetent and they're comparing themselves to Tolkien. Like, I don't think there's a living writer who is equal to Tolkien. He's just one of those once in a millennia type writers. And so it comes across as too arrogant for me to even take them as a reasonable human being when they come at it from that perspective right out of the gate.
I mean, technically,
I know one writer.
Technically, Tolkien wasn't even an author; he was a professor. He wrote Hobbit for his kids. He wrote the tales of Father Christmas for his kids. He wrote Lord of the Rings mainly for his son. His son helped him, Christopher, because Christopher served in World War II, and that's when he did the bulk of his writing was in the 40s and going into the 50s. So, I mean, it was a passion project, and that passion, the love and the passion showed in what Tolkien did. Sorry, go ahead.
Wasn't the story of Tom Bombadil also like a bedtime story that he wrote for his kids, and then he wanted to put it in the books too? Yeah, okay.
I love Tom Bombadil.
Yeah,
I was going to say there's one living writer that I can think of.
I'll be honest, I just read those chapters of the Fellowship of the Ring, and they are a drag. I mean, it's probably it's a beautiful thing, but it's a drag to get through those chapters.
The thing is this,
in my
though.
opinion.
Thing is this: you can't. Any writer should not try to do two things. One, you don't try to beat Tolkien, and don't try to be Tolkien. Your goal should be to just be considered lucky to be put on in somebody's library along with Tolkien. That should be the goal. Don't try to be that, and that's where these people, these non-entities, these empty, soulless douches, that's where they fail, because they think, oh, the way you do something is to copy and be like somebody else and take it, because they have no original thoughts.
It's called a homage. It's called a homage.
Yeah. we're praising it. Yeah. We're praising it. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're praising it. That we're respecting it because we claim to talk about it during production, yet the actual product is a piece of shit. But they only know how to copy. They only know how to corrupt. They have no original thoughts, and that's why in their head, that's why they do. Oh, we're just going to do it better. We're going to do it like this. That's where it stems from, because they don't understand originality and they don't understand creativity either.
No, that would require them to be competent. and
No,
that's
which they're not.
scary. Hired based on merit. But there's actually another article that I wanted to. Here we go. All right, this is Polygon, and they have a bunch of theories on who Celeborn is, and they just have some really dumb stuff. Like Celeborn is just some guy who's just hanging out somewhere. He's a hardworking elf. This is when it gets weird. Celeborn is Sauron.
Oh, good. I hope
Okay.
that's.
You have to.
And he's Tom
I've heard
Bombadil.
that theory.
How is this website still in existence? How?
Because people like to click the stupid articles that they write. But
Ugh.
I'm going to go
Wait.
try to find my glasses again, so I'll be back.
All right, go for it.
Okay,
But
so
yeah,
wait,
this-
are they
this is
trying
what
to
reminded-
say Celeborn is not Celeborn?
I
I-
guess.
I thought maybe this was they're trying to speculate that maybe Celeborn's somebody else in Rings of Power. No, they're actually trying to say Celeborn's a mantle.
Oh,
Yeah, they
God.
did. One person compared it to Dread Pilot Roberts from The Princess Bride. Is that it's just a mantle for who Galadriel likes. So how
It's a mantle for whoever's doing her.
Uh,
Does it
So-
come with Galadriel pox? I mean, that's what I want to know.
Can you imagine Galadriel gets it on with Tom Bombadil, and the next morning she's like, "Oh, Celeborn, you look so hot." He's like, "My name's fucking Tom." It's like, "Nah, Celeborn, it's all right. Shh, it's okay."
What am I? Oh God, what is?
My brain.
I'm thinking of a character who just used to name everything one name. Oh, I can't remember what it is though. Suddenly, conflicting things.
Sounds
I
like
know
George
it's-
R. R. Martin. He has way too many
Well-
similar names.
Did she
Way
say
too
something
many.
recently, or was it mentioned recently that Celeborn had been gone for lost
No,
hundreds of years?
Yeah, she said she went off to fight in the War of Wrath, and that's when he left Valinor before she did, and so that was early
Wait,
first age.
So do we
since the last
assume
time.
that her sex drive is non-existent, or that she just, gets a little side something?
No,
from time
we
to
know
time?
that Elrond's not giving it to her, so I don't know where it's coming from.
Because a
No.
couple hundred years. I mean, I don't,
Thousands.
Wait, I thought they said Celeborn went to
thousands.
fight in the War of Wrath and then was lost.
So
Well,
yeah,
they-
she said
they-
he sail into battle. She mentioned sailing. So
They
that's
haven't said the word
how-
dead. They've never said the word
yeah.
dead because this is bad reboot, mystery box, blah blah blah.
Of course, it does explain why she liked that dagger so much, right?
It does. It's like brother's dead. Yes, I get the cool thing. I get the dildo. Sensei Mike, I appreciate it, man. But let's read this golden quote that Mike was talking about from McKay.
Mhm.
Said, also the name Galadriel is loosely translated in Elvis as maiden with a crown of golden hair. So the reason she had a crown of golden hair is because she would fight and do all sorts of sparring with other elves. No, it means she's fucking blonde.
And in the normal way, not the way these two idiots are.
She would braid her hair and put it on top of her head to stay out of the way.
Well, she obviously doesn't do that anymore.
Where is
Flying
that?
all over the place.
This is so sad. It's like
It doesn't say it.
Tolkien said
It doesn't say she doesn't in the books anywhere. So therefore,
they just used an explanation that she's blonde and twisted it to mean that she won a bunch of competitions with men. Like that is the most convoluted logic.
I'm tired of this fucking loophole where they say, well, it doesn't say it in the book, but then they try to use the book as justification for them bastardizing the book. I'm tired of it.
Dermy, it's what we call hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy in the highest form, but practiced poorly.
Yeah. Hail, my lover, Squeaker Mouse. Yeah, she can't stay for me, Dwarf Darling, but it's great to have you here.
Squeaker.
Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, for those
See you
who don't
tomorrow.
know, she's
Right?
my lover in Dungeons
Tomorrow?
and Dragons on Wednesdays.
tomorrow, Squeaka, you're gonna be there, right? Okay, gotta make sure.
Yeah, she walks around in a snakeskin thong and nothing else, so it keeps things interesting in D&D. But yeah, that's just they're using misinterpreted translations of names to justify stuff at this point. Like I've never seen anyone grasp for straws to this degree. This is like cope to the ninth degree. Like Bezos called them up and said, your jobs are in danger, fix this, make some shit up. And this is the best that they could come up with. And it's honestly pathetic. Like if they were really the talented writers they claim to be, they could at least lie better than this, come up with a better explanation.
Lying requires a backbone. These are spineless creatures who learned at the feet of Jar Jar. I mean, we saw
I have lied better than this.
Yeah, I think we all have at some point. Jesus Christ. I don't know.
All right.
John F. Trent blows him out of the water right here.
Oh, yeah, he has some great stuff. Always, John F. Trent is a legend. But Payne's defense of Galadriel going to Numenor clearly shows he does not have any respect for Tolkien. There's nothing more that needs to be said at the end of the day. It's like, oh, we're going to fill in what Tolkien couldn't think of or wasn't progressive enough to think of. That's a sign of disrespect. And my response to all this stuff is, if you have no respect for the source material, why bother adapting it? Like, I know the real reason why, but it just is incredibly disingenuous. And that's why fans can see through it. That's why a lot of them are standing up, even when they're being called racist and sexist, because they can see through all this nonsense.
It's like they really want to. It's like they really want to push whatever they're trying to push, and they're even unlocking like properties that haven't been used, like not Top Gun. Excuse me, no, that's totally opposite. But recently they made a Slumberland trailer from New York Comic Con. That's based off of an old animated movie from the early '90s about little Nemo, the boy, and then they made an NES game, and that's pretty much. Yeah, and they're remaking it with a girl, and it's
they have zero creativity left. What you got, Mike?
Example. Clearly, she's a sword master, barbarian queen.
Yep, just because you have a braid.
Mm-hmm. And they call that a crown, a braided crown. Yeah. That's what the whole idea of that behind that is
Emilia Clarke was nice in the first season of Game of Thrones.
Emilia Clarke just seems like one of the few people who comes across as more genuine than the rest, at least most of the time.
She was having a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Best season ever.
Yeah. So, she was great in season 1.
I'll say this. I mean, I was actually, even though Daenerys did some things that would kind of make her seem bad, I was actually rooting for her the entire time. I didn't dislike her character. So when they all of a sudden changed her and made her the villain, I was just like, what was the point of us following her story if she was just going to turn out to be a villain? I was expecting a redemption for her. Like, she would be the form of redemption for the Targaryens. And they would come together with, the Starks, and I honestly thought there was going to be a marriage. Either her or Jon would die, likely Jon, and then she would have his kids, and then they would lead the Seven Kingdoms.
I just wanted to see more of her tits.
That too.
Yeah, I knew that's what you were going for when you kept saying season 1. But I heard a lot of great fan theories going into season 8 that were a million times better than what we got. There was one that would time travel where but they did it in an interesting way. Like they defeat the Night King in episode 3, but Jon would actually do it. But it was there was a virus in it, and Bran got infected, and he was slowly becoming the Night King. So after they beat Cersei, he stands up from his chair and brings up all the corpses of that battle that they just won. And then Jon has to thrust him through a portal back in time. And so he becomes the Night King the whole time. Bran was always the Night King, and Jon was the guy who pushed him back into the north the first time. And when they fucked on the boat, Dany and him, that baby is born, and that's the one who sits the Iron Throne. Dany's killed in the fight, so it's just a new baby that's on the throne with Tyrion as the hand. Time travel out of the blue is a little janky, but
time travel's dangerous.
Very dangerous.
And you got to know what you're doing. You got to have it all prepared out. You can't just throw it out. But I want to say something to what Nerpearl just said.
Yeah.
All that positive stuff you just said, that's not Germ. Germ's not Mr. Happy Hero Positive. It's all nihilism. So there's no way that could happen.
Well, he let on that he was gonna have it was gonna be a bittersweet ending, but
that was not
something. Probably would have been what we got was
beyond bitter.
Yeah.
I'd heard this for a long time, and the primary evidence was from season 2 when it was first said when she was in Essos, I think it was, and the she had the prophecy from those monk dudes who said every time a Targaryen is born, that God flips a coin between greatness and madness. And so they were taking that to mean, hey, since Jon is a Targaryen, he's great and she's mad. So that it was always going to end up like that.
I wanted Jon to sit the Iron Throne.
I didn't. Like, he's a great guy, but I don't think he would have been right as a king. I think he was the military leader we needed for the White Walkers, but not king material. Like, I like how he ended up. I just wish he had actually accomplished something before he got sent north of the wall.
I have
been useful.
I have a Game of Thrones question for you experts. If the point of swearing to the Black, so that you go to the wall and you guard the wall, is to prevent the Mad King or the Night King or whatever it is and all the zombies from invading, and that war's over, what's the point of the wall? What's the point of
there's none?
So the point
right.
of
So after the series ends, there should be. Why is
the wall was built to keep the White Walkers out, keep the others, because they're called the books, out. I mean, they attacked during the Age of Heroes, and then the Children of the Forest. Everyone got together and they magically created the wall. And the wall is one of the highest things, with the exception of now Hightower. The high towers from Old Town, but the wall is one of the highest things. It's the oldest. It's one of the oldest structures in the Westeros. And so without the White Walkers, there should be no. There's no.
So why was Jon going back there at the end of the series?
Like even the wildling threat's gone too. Yeah. There's no threat. So
that's why he just goes north of the wall. He doesn't even bother guarding the wall.
No.
So
he
realizes that it's pointless. I think it was more ceremonial to get him out of the way.
But wasn't there like some words there at the very end where so part of his attrition is that he's going to have to go back to the wall?
It's just he's
like,
exiled.
That doesn't make sense. Okay.
But a lot of the wall was also a punishment. You're not going to enjoy being there. You're there to maintain it. This is kind of like prison.
But there should be something else, is my point, because there's no reason to have the wall at this point. So
I mean, it was like it was just like the story was punishing Jon Snow again, because Jon Snow wanted family. He wanted to be with he wanted to connect with his family and everything, and he went away by himself, and it felt like it just everything just went full circle, and he's back where he started, and that's not satisfying. I did not want to see that. I wanted to see a change. We want to see change.
They screwed up the end of the story. I mean, we understand that, right? They had intended Jon to be the prince that was promised.
The prince
I hate that they're integrating that into House of the Dragon. They keep referencing the Song of Ice and Fire, the prince that was promised, and I'm just like, forget Game of Thrones. I don't want to remember that show. I don't remember that all roads lead to season 8. Like, please, just let me forget it. Don't constantly remind me that it's coming.
Yeah, and this
needs to be deleted.
Like the stuff that they bring up about the Song of Ice and Fire. I mean, it should have been either in Game of Thrones, or it should be in Winds of Winter, which will likely never come out. So he's putting it in the show because he doesn't want to finish Winds of Winter. I mean, that's why I think it's going to be in Winds of Winter. That whole Song of Ice and Fire, them passing it down, because there's none of it in any of the books.
Right.
Well, also he's in the middle of his own woke battle.
Who? George?
Yeah, George is in the middle of his own woke battle right now because he let some woke people in, and they're pissed off at two of his longtime friends, like people that help him build this world, and they are mad at them because they were kind of ticked off that the Corlys Valerian and the Valerians were made black.
You're talking about Linda Anderson and Elio Garcia, the ones that wrote the World of Ice that helped with the World of Ice and Fire. Really?
Yeah, they want
no idea.
Drama going.
Yeah, they want the wokies want them canceled because they think they're racist.
Because
it's from over 10 years ago.
If I remember correctly, Linda herself was just said how much the show sucked. The final season sucked. And coming from her, that was pretty. I mean, obviously, for anyone watching knew it was bad, but coming from her, that was I thought that was kind of ballsy because she's directly associated with George, and you know how people like that are. They don't want to sound bad, or they don't want to say anything against the narrative or
right.
Well, she really likes what George made, so she's protecting it.
And that's why she was getting canceled 10 years ago, and they're still bringing that back up because she was said a character was originally white in the books and should stay white. It was like season 3 or whatever when they recast that one dude who was like the sellsword. In season 2, he was brown of skin, and then they recast him to be white in the next season. And she's like, "Hey, he was written in the book as white, so the recast worked out in the end." I can't
Which
remember
character?
the dude's name.
Which character?
It was the guy that she boned.
Yeah,
He
she
killed
did
off
bone
his. He killed off the teammates and.
Oh, Dario? He was only in
Yes.
we see him in season 3. He wasn't in season 2.
No, he comes in season 3, but then gets recast
Season
in
3 and
season
4.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't
He
remember if
wasn't
it
in
was 2 or
season
3.
he wasn't in season 2.
It was 3 and 4 bridge, not the 2 and 3 one. But yeah, because she said that, they're still trying to cancel her, and that was 10 years ago.
Well, if I remember correctly, the Dario in the books, he basically he had purple hair and he had he had purple beard and he had purple mustache, and I think he had purple hair. He had braided.
I wonder how that would
his
look.
beard was braided, pretty much. So
I don't know about purple
Do you
hair. I
think-
love the purple eyes.
Do you think George R.R. Martin will be writing a different ending to his series that he had originally thought? Think he's going to change it?
If he
Now, he's on the
gets there.
record. I've seen him on a record on some interviews or not panel shows, but like where you're on stage and you have the audience that ask questions. And the subject of if the audience figures out something that you planned, do you change it so that it's a surprise, or do you keep writing? And his response was always do your original, never change. Basically what Robert Jordan did, but always keep with your original idea. And so that's surprising that you would say that, because
the thing is, he doesn't do outlines. He doesn't write that way. He writes like
he's
a
an
gardener.
exploratory writer. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how he does that. I need my 100-page
He's
outline.
good.
Dude, he writes based on what he's just thinking at the moment.
Mhm.
So he'll think, I want so and so to be at this point. Okay, so how do I fill it in with detail? What leads it there? And he just writes. The thing is, most days he can't think of anything, and especially now at his age, he's kind of losing
Struggling.
He's kind of losing that edge. And I mean, it's been 11 years. It's been over 11 years since Dance with Dragons came out. And it seems like he's only written like a very small portion of the book, or if he has written anything, he's scrapped it.
I think he's written half the book right now.
Thing is, I once heard a theory was posed to me by someone who was sort of paying attention to all this. Was told me, I believe, in 2013 or 2014. Don't quote me on the year. I don't remember the conversation anymore exactly. But that George, like you said, he writes what's in front of him. He goes like that. And he drew a lot of inspiration from the politics in the late aughts into the early 2010s. And when things politically don't go his way, he lost his inspiration. And he couldn't write it anymore. That was a theory posed to me, and I've run with it on a couple of debates. But and now where if he's missing all that stuff, if that was the center of it, well, then that could explain a lot. It's a theory that was posed to me once, and the guy made a really good case, and I looked it up and was like, oh yeah, this holds water. A lot of people say this here and there, but to Jed's point on that is, I do not understand either how he just how do you do that, because you write yourself into a corner.
Mm-hmm.
He did write himself into a corner. He introduced so books 4 and 5 are basically a single. It was originally supposed to be a single book. He divided it up by people in different parts of the world. So it's basically the same book. And when I've read Song of Ice and Fire twice, I always read chapters from Feast for Crows, and I'd read chapters from A Dance with Dragons, and I'd loop back, and that's how I used to do my read, just because I like to read things in chronological order. It's only so he's only written one book, and he's added so many other point of view characters. So every chapter is a point of view. Every chapter has the name of the character, and you're going from that person's point of view. And a lot of times in these chapters, you're going to hear unreliable narration, because a lot of times, stories pop up all over the place, and there's rumor and everything, and you hear a lot of unreliable narration. So you're like wondering what's true and what's not. And the thing is, George is a master at doing this. Like I said, he wrote so many new characters in addition to the ones that survived the first 3 books. I don't know how it's all going to come together. He's trying to put everything together. He spread everybody out after book 3. Now he's trying to bring everybody back together. And I don't know how he can do it, because there was originally supposed to be a 5-year time jump after book 3. But the fact is, like, a lot of the characters are still young kids, so a lot of the ideas that he originally had, he has to scrap, and he has to come up with new ones. Like Arya is still 10 or 11 years old. She's not 16 like he originally intended her to be, because the chapter, the sample chapter that they made for Winds of Winter for Arya, she was supposed to be older, and she was supposed to be hooker in Bravos. So with her being 11, and that is very awkward, and I think he's trying to scrap that. So, and then it's led to a lot of problems, and I think he's been trying to rewrite everything he's done, and he just doesn't know what to do. That's what I'm getting at.
I hope they get Arya right, because she was always my favorite character. I read the books once a long time ago, but I don't really remember them. But yeah, Arya was always my favorite character before seasons like 6 through 8. But I really hope they do a good job with her, or he does.
Yeah, I didn't like where they went with her character at all.
Yeah, they turned her into a
I
Mary
wanted her to
Sue.
be the assassin. I wanted her to just go around killing people and not, I don't know.
I had no idea she learned Goku's teleportation ability when she jumped in. Managed to kill she managed to kill the Night King, Ray Skywalker, or sorry, Ray Palpatine's. Drop the dagger, pick it up, or catch it, and stab.
There's no way that Martin had that in mind. There can't be. That was not his intention.
Well, there's no Night King in the books, and we've only seen like the others. We've only seen the others in the prologue of the first book, and we see them in like a couple of chapters with Samwell when he's running away from them after which would be during season 3, the one time where he kills one of the White Walkers, and that's really the only time we ever see them. We only hear like rumors and unreliable narration about them. Even Hardhome was not in the book. We hear about Hardhome. Jon Snow sent people out to Hardhome, and we've heard stories about dead hands and dead bodies in the water, bodies coming out of the water and stuff. And that's it. We don't know anything. We have barely seen the White Walkers or the others in the Song of Ice and Fire so far.
Well, that was a great episode, Hardhome.
Yes.
So it's safe to say that George has spread himself pretty damn thin with too many characters, trying to tell too many storylines at once without coalescing it into an actual arc. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I mean, this Winds of Winter is supposed to open with 3 battles. 3. Battle of Ice, the Battle of Fire, and the Battle for Storm's End. 3 battles. He's putting 3 battles in. So,
right, because Stannis is still alive, right?
Stannis is marching. The book Dance with Dragons ends with Stannis marching on Winterfell, and Theon and the girl who they pose as fake Arya, which was not on the show, escaped from Ramsay and his. Ramsay had a posse in the books. Ramsay's the Bastards Boys. And like Theon's chapters in book 5, Dance with Dragons, probably the best arc. So messed up. Like just the way they depict Theon, like the way he looks in the show, he looks too, as Dirty Harry would say, he looks too damn good.
Did they give the fake Arya scenes and narrative role to Sansa in the show? Is that? He escaped with her
because the fake Arya marries Ramsay and makes Theon do stuff to her. And
I hated Sansa too by then.
Yeah. So, and the thing is with the Tyrion and the Marine, that was supposed to be Sir Barristan. Sir Barristan was supposed to be the one to take over the city, while Tyrion was stuck in the middle of the Battle of Fire, which they really trimmed down quite a bit. Like the Battle of Fire is supposed to be the biggest battle in Winds of Winter, and it's supposed to take up several chapters. It's like the biggest invasion or the biggest siege of Daenerys' city, and she's not even there. So, and there's so Tyrion's stuck with sellswords. He's trying to get to Daenerys or trying to get to Meereen, and it's just a ridiculous thing. There's so many things going on, and that was all cut for a single episode in season 6.
And that's a big issue with shows these days, is pacing and choosing what to keep and what not. Like that's one of my issues with House of the Dragon, is it feels bloated to me. And the bigger issue is, from what they've said, the entire Targaryen Civil War will be in this first season. So we're only getting 2 episodes of the Civil War. I think we should have gotten 5 episodes of setup and 5 episodes of the Civil War. I think that would have been a far superior ratio that could have moved things all along at a brisker pace. I do love a lot of the setup, but that's what they said early on, because they weren't sure if they were going to get a season 2. And so they're talking about an anthology series.
Really? Because I thought I honestly thought episode 10 was going to end with certain things happening without spoiling the show, or because I've read Song of Ice and Fire, I know what happens.
That would be better, but from my understanding, this isn't straight from the showrunner's mouth or anything like that. But those are the articles that I saw over the last few months. Is that the Targaryen Civil War is season 1? So
then what would season 2 be? There's nothing after that. There's nothing going
right.
on after
That's
that,
why they're talking about anthology.
No,
like the showrunners are talking about Aegon the Conqueror.
I think House of the Dragon is going to be 3 seasons. It's going to be based over that, but then they're going to start doing it.
That's what I
build
heard.
into the anthology trend. So
After that,
so then the next one might be Aegon's conquest, the revolution. I cannot remember what it was when the Targaryens get ousted, and some other ideas. But House of the Dragon is 3 seasons.
I honestly can't believe that they're going to contract the entire Dance of the Dragons in 2 episodes. Too much stuff goes on. There's too many battles. There's too many things going on that I think it's impossible.
Well, they've done that before, like Game of Thrones, like you're talking about. They were condensed everything, and since it's just the battles left, really.
The problem is there's battles, but also there's some timelines. There's still people that die, certain political things that still need to happen. So,
because
we'll see.
Because
season 2 wasn't confirmed until after season 1 started. So,
and the thing is, there's supposed to be another time jump. Like, so like the Dance of the Dragons happens when we introduced Daemon and Rhaenyra's two children that they had, or I think they're gonna have a third one. They're a little bit older. They're like, they're not adults or teenagers, but they're children. Like the eldest is a child when the Dance of the Dragons goes on. And I'll just say, what happens to him? Well,
and I believe the Velaryon girls, not the Velaryon, but Daemon's girls and Rhaenyra's sons are supposed to be married by the time the battle kind of kicks off, or they get married at least. I can't remember. It's been a little while since I've read it.
And this show has been very good with time jumps, so. Like, I imagine it'll be done well with that time jump that you're talking about. That may be over the next episode.
I still miss Millie Alcock.
Yeah. Didn't you guys hear? What's her bucket? Emma Darcy is so good at playing women, and she just can't believe it. She thinks it's so cool that she's so good at playing women.
I miss Alcock too. I liked her.
Why
couldn't they keep the same actress? Just have her, wear a little makeup and make her look a little older. I mean, what?
Tad of a fat suit after she's some maternity weight. It's not difficult.
Or at least find a better actress, because I don't like looking at Rhaenyra now.
Oh, and Emily had some great chemistry with Matt Smith. I don't feel any chemistry with Emma, but Emily and him had some great chemistry. I think that would sell their relationship a lot more for me personally. But well, I think that's enough House of the Dragon. Adam's starting to get distant-eyed.
Huh? What?
Well, something you might care about a little bit more is gay Superman is getting canceled.
That's funny. That's funny.
Thank you.
It's funny.
You bigots.
Real.
I mean, if I covered,
you guys are bigots.
If I covered comics, I would have made videos on that. But since I don't cover comics directly, I couldn't, because my audience doesn't care about what I have to say on that. But that is outstanding news. It's the falling apart of the narrative. Is what it is.
We always knew they were going to cancel. This isn't the first time something like this gets canceled. But it only lasted 18 issues, so it wasn't a big shocker when I heard that it was getting canceled.
It's Go ahead, Jake. I'll have to collect my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, just like you guys are saying, it's what they always do. It's only for that quick CNN headline, and then the stands get their Dory mentality like we're talking about, and they immediately forget about it, and they never bought it to begin with, so now they're not going to continue. So the sales for issue 2 plummeted. So.
Yes, issue 1 did really good, but that was speculation. Issue 2 failed, and it just kept failing. Nobody wanted it because this wasn't Superman, and also just the promotional images look stupid. There's no Earth B. Yes, there is. I'm the strongest individual in the world, and yet I have to wear a mask. And
Oh, Dury makes an excellent point. There was the conflation when it all started. Superman's gay. Well, it's not Superman. It's his son. It's Jonathan. It's not Kal-El. They even say it in the title, but they all just wanted to say Superman has a boyfriend. That's all they wanted to say. And then, as many have pointed out, it's all groomer shit that's going on here, because that's really a boy, still a 13-year-old boy in the mind of in the body of a 17-year-old, if I'm not mistaken.
Because they tried to justify it with big.
They took him out of the Super Sons era and sent him. They did a whole. What did they do? A whole League of Superheroes thing, like they did with his father at one point, and comes back older for some reason, yet not older. It's not. He didn't really age. It's convoluted bullshit. It's convoluted bullshit, and it's sick, and it's lame, and it's stupid, and this is why the comic industry is failing, because they're not. It's why all this stuff, and it comes like the same thing. They're all making this shit for non-fans. They're making it for Twitter. They're making it for Tumblr. They're not making it for us, who at one point, whenever we were buying this stuff or whatever we're buying now, we are the ones who are into this stuff. We're the ones that keep it alive in the dark times. It's all falling apart. And you know what? Good riddance. Honestly, good riddance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care anymore.
That's why you make a great point. Is they're always going to be these dry spells like you're talking about. And it's the hardcore fans that carry these companies through those dry spells. But in their supposed height that they're in right now, they're purposely getting rid of their core fan base and mocking them, sending them away, calling them names. And now they're starting to suffer because the dry spells hit and their core fan base, which has always supported them, is gone. And it's their own damn fault. But it's pride. And yes, ice them.
It's not even that. The dry spell's brought on because the COOF destroyed the infrastructure of the business, and it opened the doors where everybody could see that their numbers were fake for their sales and their shipping, and it wasn't actual sales to actual people, all inflated, all lies. Mm-hmm. And now when you have something like Eric July, who can show you the numbers and the sales, Comicsgate, who run their tallies with crowdfunding, you can show you how many backers there are and how many issues are going out and how much they pull down on the crowdfund. It's a leaderboard, and DC and Marvel they can't put numbers up like that at all anymore. This isn't the 90s where things were selling in the millions, where people were into it, where I was still into it way back then. This is all. It's come to an end, and they did it to themselves. And like you said,
so good.
If it's a dry spell, it's one thing if it's a dry spell. But this was a self-imposed salting of the earth after you drove us off our land. We were the ones there. We were happy, but then you brought in these fake fans to populate our empty houses and try and farm a land that they don't know how to farm. They don't know how to plant the seeds of fandom. They don't know how to have these discussions. They only know what their download is. And when the download doesn't have information anymore, that's when the dry spell happens. And that's when you realize, oh, we're the ones who are missing. We're the ones who aren't here.
For the side that screams about how colonization is bad, they seem to always like to take over people's stuff, change it, and destroy it.
Well, that's projection. I mean, it's common.
True.
That's just when you deal with people like that, you just have to dismiss I dismiss everything that they say when they act all self-righteous because
Well, this ties great into what Mike just pulled up for us, is the recent comments from the Watchmen creator. And actually, before we jump into that, we actually have a new guest with us. Dane is here. What is going on, my friend? How's it going?
Jed, congrats on the monetization. Sorry for being late.
Appreciate that.
I forgot when you sent. I had a prior commitment, so we just did a rewatch premiere. So that's all typed up and done with. So glad to be hanging out. What are we talking about?
Prison Wall.
Right.
No, damn it. I was resisting even doing that. I was resisting it. I was trying to take the high road. I was not going to make a prison wallet joke just because Dane is here. But no, now we're going to drag us all down into prison wallet talk. And
Adam,
get Drake, come on.
No, I'm pretty damn sure that that was Pip's joke. I can't take credit.
He
for
said
putting
it
it all.
first. You
yeah,
just
but
co-opted
you're
it.
popularized it.
You popularized it.
It's your thing now. We're going to give it to you. We have to.
But I'm too drunk to even remember even saying that term.
You said it nearly as much as you said Elrond is Sauron.
Guy in the chat.
Well, that much is probably true.
I've sent Dre a link. He may be joining us later. But Dane, we're actually talking about the recent comments from the Watchmen creator, Alan Moore, who compared adults liking superheroes to bad people from Germany.
Oh, go fuck off.
Wait, what?
You're
Why
so-
would he do? Why would he do that?
Because
he's
he's
a
superheroes.
He's
Yeah,
an
he
old man
always-
weirdo. That's why.
He's
Yeah.
a wizard. He's a wizard.
Yeah, he's old and he's weird, and he never even liked superheroes. That's why he made Watchmen, is to mock superheroes, but it was still really good.
People like
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
which is saying something.
He's
And
probably
he-
so mad about that.
Sorry, I'm gonna pop in and out. I got the wireless headphones on so I can continue hearing, but I got something on the oven, so I'm gonna stop cam and,
All right.
and see you guys in a bit. Just give me a sec.
All right, all good.
Holy crap, he looks like Rasputin.
He does.
Oh, Alan Moore is a dude that he is one weird looking old dude. He has not aged well.
Well, he looks more like Rasputin than the Master playing Rasputin in the new Doctor Who episode coming up.
Oh yeah, you showed me that.
It's gonna be so bad. But have any of you guys actually read Watchmen? I've never actually read it or seen the movie.
I started it and I didn't finish it.
I tried it. I didn't like it, and I really didn't like the movie. I'm not a fan of that. So I'm one of those people who just like.
I
I
read
like
it.
the movie. I need to get back into reading the book.
I read it. I liked it. The movie made a big change at the end, which I think pissed off a lot of book purists.
It was an octopus, right?
Well, it was space aliens, right? His whole
Yeah.
thing was like Ozymandias is going to create an enemy for the world to unite behind, and it was going to be space aliens, and it was kind of Deus Ex Machina in the book. And when they changed it in the movie to be Ozymandias framing Dr. Manhattan, that was a change I could kind of get behind. But let me just qualify that by saying I read the comic because I heard the movie was coming out. And I completely understand that some people have been reading Watchmen since when it come out, like 80s or mid 90s.
80s.
80s, yeah. They might not have been up to speed with that change whatsoever and thought it was a bit of a desecration.
All right, but yeah, it seems like his whole thing was being a little anti superhero, but he made some really good superhero stuff. So that's some great irony. But in reading all this, his comments are specifically about how comics are meant for children and nobody else, that it's very infantile is the word he uses, that adults still like comics and superheroes. And that's
But
just
He wrote comics.
for adults, because Watchmen was not a
Yeah.
kid-friendly series.
I haven't read the article yet. I just thought it sounded like pseudo-intellectual bullshit when I read the headline.
The exact quote is, it's kind of infantilization that can often be a precursor to fascism.
Oh,
A childlike
one of those
tendencies
special
leads
fuckers.
to Germany people. I don't get how being a kid makes you like a Germany person.
Because they're retarded.
That could do it.
And they do this stuff all the time. They think that they're smarter than you, so they're going to use a bunch of big words like infantilization or infantile, thinking that they're saying big words that make them sound smart, but in reality, they're actually kind of stupid in what they're saying.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for getting that word right, because I wasn't going to.
Infantilization or infantile?
No, infantile. No, I got that one, but infantilization.
Yeah.
Man babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all they think we are. They think we're just man babies for liking, comics that are cartoonish in nature, that, you think, oh, it's just some dude saving the day. But in reality, there's some deep storytelling there that tells you what is it like to be a better person? What is it like to be good and to try to achieve things that might not be achievable, but try to go that extra distance.
Yeah, I mean, the power of story is very important. I mean, I feel
Mhm.
like after seeing several, Star Trek, good Star Trek, I feel like I've been more open-minded about a lot of issues because of those shows. Now it's become totally partisan. Like now, like they're pure. They're basically pawns of the anything left of my shoulder.
Of a brain rot.
That too.
Well, they hate the hero's journey.
Mhm.
They hate it,
the end
and
of the day.
that is the basis for all for most general stories. The hero's journey, where then the hero's journey can vary, but that's the basis, and they hate it. And what they don't like is the fact that their version of what they consider good storytelling is failing left and right, and they're lashing out. I've triggered more stands in the past several days than I have in a while with what's going on from Rings of Power to MCU stuff. They're going, oh, don't you know what's going on? Oh, you're just a troll. You just make your hate money. And first of all, yeah, I'm making money. Thanks for being here. Thanks for helping me. But they're all being triggered because they're breaking down. Their little worlds are crumbling left and right, and they're going to lose Twitter soon. And they don't know what to do. All their W's they were racking up and all the L's we were taking that we had to admit we had, yeah, it's all fading away, and they are losing their shit. And we just have to sit back. I play with them because it amuses me, but sit back. They're self-destructing. We laugh. We win, and well, we win. We won this round with Rings of Power, and now it's time to just take a breath and realize what the next round is, where it's going to get a lot uglier. It's about to get a lot uglier.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's funny, like just how a lot of these people act. They get upset that other people are expressing their opinions. Why do you care how other people think? Nobody's going to think like you. Grow the fuck up.
Because they don't want true diversity. They don't. They only think of diversity as skin color, sexuality, what you look like. They don't realize that diversity is the idea of diversity of thought, where we can disagree, challenge each other's thoughts, and then come up with maybe a better idea, maybe something else, or maybe a more well-rounded world. They don't want that. They want a singularity.
Those type of people are, in my opinion, very infantile when all they care about or all they'll listen to is what the system tells them what to do. Oh, the system must always be right. Hollywood, they've been here several years. They must be right. The mainstream media, they've been doing this for 80 years. There's three. They must be right. They're all saying the same thing. They must be right.
Well, it's something that we see a lot is with these people, it's always a binary with them. There's no gray in your opinion of a person. Like if I went out there and said, you know what, I thought what Elon Musk just did was pretty cool. They're going to immediately assume that I agree with everything he's ever done, that I think he's a god, that I think I should model my life after him. It's like, no, I can like a single thing a man does. And that can apply to any celebrity or big figure is we can just like a couple decisions and it not be an overwhelming part of her personality. But they don't understand that because as soon as She-Hulk came out, so many of the stands made She-Hulk their personality. And that's how they think the rest of humanity operates in this black and white binary. And it's a really sad way to live, honestly. All or nothing. I love my nuance. Nuance is really important to me.
Jed, you just said something
the stands
brilliant.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So all the stands made their personality trying to have sex with men? And then crying when they don't.
But Jed, you just said something really brilliant there. They made She-Hulk their personality because these people have grown up in this era where they've been told they're great, but they haven't been allowed to be individuals. They're supposed to be a part of the community, and we'll use it in the derogatory sense right there. They're supposed to have the same thoughts. So the fact that they have to take these things and draw it on them and copy and paste it onto their personalities like Amazon does for large scale battles, they don't have that individuality. And they don't understand that relating to something doesn't make you it. It's called appreciation, like you said. They don't understand the idea of mutual exclusivity. Things can happen and not have to be connected.
Adam, if you're a piece of shit individual like a lot of these people are, why the fuck would you be rooting for individualism instead of collectivism?
True.
Because if you know deep down that you're a horrible person, find a group that you can kind of like sneak in with.
Makes you feel
it's
better.
Makes it all about them.
They don't
Right.
think they're horrible people.
Well, not collectively, but individually, deep down, they all know. That was Ted Kaczynski's
Well,
brilliant insight before he blew people
yeah.
up. Well, kind of
True.
simultaneous. Anyways.
True. But they don't understand
I'm
the difference
sorry.
between...
the first 10 pages of that thing are actually really fun to read, but okay, I'm not going to defend the unit.
I'm just trying to move along.
Stroke, hurry.
Bickle, show us your feet.
Prison wallet. There. Okay. Go ahead, Derby.
Well,
I tried.
they believe in their
Demonetized.
hearts of hearts that, hey, maybe they aren't the best person, but they are. Everybody's good at their core, when others, like myself, believe that, hey, we're all inherently flawed. We all have mistakes, and it's trying to better ourselves to not make those mistakes. But they don't realize that. They think we're all perfect, all whole, and we can think and live together perftly.
It's
But in
more
reality,
that
we really
binary.
can't.
It's more that binary. You're either evil or holy.
For a group that really hates binary, they seem to think of it very often.
That is
Well,
that is brilliant.
it's still a binary. It's straight and LGBTQ plus whatever. That's still the binary. It's straight or alphabet. That's the binary that they've created. And just like in saying that there's a non-binary, that means that there's binary and non-binary, which again creates a binary, which makes them again binary.
Stop.
I wonder
I
what
still have to eat dinner. You're gonna make me lose my mind.
I wonder what a life would be like in just being one of them for a day. Is it miserable? Is it
Yes.
actually kind of nice knowing the fact that all your thoughts are just given to you?
Yeah,
It
a bit of
sucks.
blissful ignorance.
It's miserable. You're miserable and you hate yourself.
You're actively
That
looking
sounds
for things
actually
to
a lot
piss
of
you
fun.
off.
Well, here's the thing. I as recently as 2017, 2018, part of 2019, I was still on a university campus going for a second master's degree, and I was around them as they were melting down. And they in these classrooms, they literally feed off their mania on each other. One person says it, then the others start nodding, and then they start feeding it. And I mean, I was in the classroom during 2016. I'm sorry, not 26, I'm sorry, 2010, 2011, 2012, I was in classroom then. These people feed off their mania. They feed off their psychosis. And when it's the echo chamber, it really is the echo chamber effect. Hear enough people going, oh, yeah, you're right. And then they feel like they're right. And that, to Dane's point, they know they're inside, they're empty, but this group energizes their psychopathy. Plain and simple. Watching it in play it was frightening to watch it in play.
It is. I was if you haven't seen some of my streams, I stream with a high school buddy of mine called Silver, and we went to community college together originally. We entered an anime club, and just one day politics came up. We were on the exact opposite of everybody else, and we were getting berated for not lining up with them. And if you're alone, I can only imagine siding with these people is probably easier because it is scary.
Oh, that's
well,
why
if
I
you
shut up
surround
in
yourself
community
with
college.
people that are as screwed up as you are, then you don't feel screwed up.
True.
I made the mistake once of thinking I was still at a point in a class because I was in schools during several periods of time, getting several types of things. And in one period of time, you could have an opinion. And if you made your case, you could still get the grade. But one time in one class, I made the mistake of putting my opinion on my paper. And this one professor, he just took it out on me on everything I did. After that, I couldn't score anything above C-. But then the final couple stuff were blind grading of his own invention. And what I did is then I used all of their words and terminology. I just flipped the book and pretended to be one of them. Oh man, he gave me the top grade on every one of those things when he was blind grading. Didn't know it was me.
Political biasy.
Didn't know it was me. Yeah. So
Adam,
yeah,
I had no idea you have a master's of gender studies.
I have a master in bullshit. That's what I got. I know I have a BA in bullshit. I have a BA in
you're
bullshit.
also from the military, huh? Masters in bullshit.
No, I have a BA in bullshit. It's a BA in bullshit.
But
Is that political
it's
science?
messed up.
Because I got one of those too.
No, public administration, close enough.
to To Anna's Gameland question, there is nuance in storytelling still. There is areas where you can find no agenda and
It's
everything. There's
rare.
morality, but you usually have to go to the east. Go to the
Like
land of the rising sun.
or-
There's some great stories of
yeah.
Edge Runners
I am
is actually
loving-
really good.
Edge Runners. I've been reading Black Clover. Black Clover is
Ooh, Black Clover's good.
Black
Clover's
Clover,
good.
it's not the greatest anime, it's not the greatest thing since
But it's
sliced
fun.
bread, but it is super fun, and the main hero is just somebody with basically no powers on a world with powers and learning to survive.
Is that a shonen series?
It was
fighter,
yes.
fighter
yeah, it's
series?
Yeah.
Its first anime run went for about 172 episodes, little filler in there. Then they broke it off, and now with the manga ending, I expect in the next 6-7 months we're going to hear an announcement of the next season. Because I didn't go to the manga. I want to see it animated. I one of the few times I did not go to the manga. I want to start. There's a movie coming out now. They just
Yes.
announced a movie.
Okay,
I've been reading
them.
I've been reading the manga. It's so good.
Yeah, I know. And it ended, and they did it again. Manga artists and authors know how to do time skips very well, and Black Clover did an excellent time skip.
They've done one really big one, and then they did a recent one.
Okay, yeah, I
Hold
know
on,
the one
guys.
they did the end of the anime.
I've got to interrupt you guys. Biggles unfortunately has to leave us, so we'll give him his out real fast. Thank you for joining me, Biggles. I know you're usually here on my gaming streams anyway, but it's always great to have you. Is there anything that you'd like to plug, my friend?
No, I'm good. I don't have to plug anything. I'm working on stuff on my YouTube channel, but it's not important. Everybody, it is his monetization stream. Give him $1 or something. Have fun. I'll see you all next Tuesday, I guess. All right.
God, if you're gonna grift for him, grift better.
No,
like jiggle a little bit.
Okay, fine. There you go.
I'm blind.
Okay.
I'm blind. I'm blind.
I feel uncomfortable.
I'm gonna check if we're still green.
But I have to ask really quickly about Black Clover. I don't know anything about it. Is it as good as I just watched Yu Yu Hakusho for the first time? Is it as good as that show?
Yes, it's better, frankly. Yu Hakusho's that's old school.
Okay.
That's old school. Yu Hakusho's old school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yu Yu Hakusho's old school. I'm not gonna say Black Clover is better because Black Clover has its own problems.
Oh yeah.
It is a fun kind of fantasy. It's a fun fantasy.
One thing.
anime.
Once you get over Asta shouting all the time, you'll be okay.
Yes.
Once you get past that, you're fine. And
there's some-
you get over it because Asta's a good character. You get over it because he's
Yes.
a good character, and the fights in this show are the animated version. Oh, they're so good. The animation is so good.
I've been watching the anime because the manga fights it's hard to read because it's all over the place.
They animate it beautifully, especially
Yes.
let's just say the end of the without spoilers, people want to read it. The end of the elf arc, that fight on the animated side against the devil. Oh, it's beautiful.
Last where I left off was when they introduced the elves and his team. Trying not to spoil. I already
I'm
know
just saying
how it all goes,
the final
but-
battle in that arc,
animated beautifully.
It's so good. I mean, it's just so good. It's so much fun. It's so good.
Does
Real
Black
fast,
Clover? Does Black Clover suffer really quickly? Does Black Clover
It's a-
suffer from what Bleach and Naruto and One Piece do? Like they keep making episodes every week and they never stop. Or do they
Well,
actually
it
stop
did
and
during
take
its run.
breaks?
It did during its run because the manga was going to a certain point, and it's one of those things where when there is filler, it goes the One Piece way, where if you're going to watch it, it's not too bad. Whereas, I mean, the Naruto
It's
filler,
pretty good.
Yeah, I watched it all the way through. I didn't skip anything, and I could tell when it was a filler, but I was like, I'm okay with it. It's all right. It's fine. But yeah, they went all the way through for a while.
I'm going to jump in here and welcome Dre to the stream. What is going on, brother? It's great to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Yo, what's going on, good people?
I know you.
Dre.
Maybe.
I've seen you on streams.
Just maybe. Just maybe.
Dre, I have some really cool comics to show you.
You do you?
I just picked these up.
What you got for me?
I got this one.
Oh.
The guy even signed it right there. Check it out.
Who in the world could have signed them Jones? Who in the world?
I don't know. This guy's crazy though. I got the next one. Check this out. This is awesome. You guys should go check these out. Make sure that you go and visit. Where could they find? I wonder where they could find these. I don't even know. I got them on the interwebs. I don't know. I don't know if you can go into your local 7-Eleven and get these. I don't know.
Of course, it's 7-Eleven. Where else are you gonna get my work at?
I don't. Oh, it's yours.
Oh, that's your work.
It's out back of the 7-Eleven.
Yes,
In
this
the
is the
back.
man right here.
Oh,
2
Near the
frames down.
dumpsters, of course.
This is the guy. You know, Jed, of course, doesn't make the frame big so that people can see it, but he's a rookie. He'll learn how to do some streams before
Why would I
want to
make you big?
That's true. I'm
I don't
already
want
big enough.
people to-
I don't need any more. And then the last one, and I got to pick up 7 and 8, right, Dre?
Yeah,
2
7
more coming.
is. I'm getting those prints. I'm getting the personal prints done already, so I can get you guys your own signed copies. You ain't got to worry about going through the site. I'm getting these personal prints. Has the better paper and stuff. So,
Oh, cool.
So I can get the shinies. Get the
Well,
shiny
while we
ones.
have this moment, Hail Kaladar, she has dropped a $5 super sticker of a cat saying bravo. Thank you so much. It's
I think that's a
brilliant.
dog again.
Yeah. Congrats to you,
Guess I can't
Jed.
tell.
Congrats to you, brother. I'm still waiting for
appreciate it.
my finalization on mine. So I'm happy
Aren't you
for
at
you, bro.
1,500?
I don't want to talk about that. It's let me just put it like this. There's some of my older videos that definitely have some trepidation that YouTube may not be co-signing on.
And then they won't tell you which one it is. They'll just
Yeah.
say, sorry, it doesn't meet it.
Yeah. Couple of you hate people. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I know. I'm a hateful black guy. I know. How it goes.
Listen, I hate people too, but
Well, I thought I'd have a lot of problems with some of my videos too. I mean, I swear like a sailor, so I was very surprised I didn't have to edit to all hell and back all my videos.
You know what
I
the
guess
thing
they
is,
got
though?
lucky.
You know what I think it is? Your videos are generally short. You know, you max out at maybe 25, 30 minutes.
Oh, I'm
And-
very, very max. Usually max out at 15.
So whatever the check was, probably skimmed all your short form. You got through that. I suppose some of us do really long form stuff, and they will watch that probably to look at it, and then there's a lot in there they can pick apart and they'll flag. I think that's what it is. You fit into that perfect little frame where they like your short form stuff, and it made for an easy scan and didn't hit any flags.
Maybe that's what it was.
YouTube really likes short form content. They want 10, 15-minute videos, maximum 30. They really don't like live streams, but live streams.
They say they do,
We're
but they don't
getting
like
better. It's gotten better, but yeah, it's still, they don't love it.
Yeah.
But with Dre having joined us and Lady B is currently in the chat, there's something that I promised to share with you all. Lady B, I think you might need to look at your phone while you're cooking for this one. I did promise this if I got monetized and Dermy Wormy provided. We've got...
Oh, I love the little fix that you did. That's even better.
Oh, no. Your version was better. I was just worried about newly monetized showing nipples on stream. But that's what she said on Sunday. Yeah, I just like a good pair of tits.
So stunning and brave. Stunning and brave.
You guys know the backstory. This guy's trolling, right?
Was he
Yeah,
trolling?
it's
he's
he's
trolling.
a teacher or something, right?
Oh,
right. He wanted to do something and he was told no, and so he did this as kind of like, okay, fine, you can't tell me no anymore. I'm gonna be trans, and I'm gonna do this.
well,
so it's all just like screwing with the school board.
I love using this picture of him. I've usually put like Az's face down there, especially right now, with what he has admitted to enjoying.
Right.
But I couldn't get that video done, but I thought I need something good for this, and there we go.
Well, I'm unfortunately going to have to take this opportunity to say farewell to another of our party. A Notorial Light Form needs to take his bow at this moment. Thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you being here. Is there anything that you'd like to plug besides that man on screen a minute ago?
Sure. Okay, so tomorrow I have to prep for tomorrow's stream. I'm going to be doing another serial horror chat where this October I've been covering a whole bunch of horror movies with different content creators. Well, tomorrow I'm going to be covering the first Resident Evil game. I'm going from movies. Now I'm going to delve into video games. So me and the Matt Cave are going to be talking about the first Resident Evil game. So that's going to be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central. So that's, if you like Resident Evil, come on by for that. And of course, the other big stream is my House of the Dragon after show every Sunday. 2 more left. So yeah, if you are looking for another stream to find, well, I'm yours truly is doing one too. So, and I think my next next video project is gonna be Metroid related, some retrospective on the first game. So that's what's coming up for me.
Dragon left or 3?
There's 2.
Okay.
So,
I'm sad.
But Jed, thank you so much. Congratulations on getting monetized. You deserve it. You got some great takes, and you got some great video reviews. So, once again, congratulations.
Appreciate that. All right, take care, man. Thanks.
You're
for coming.
welcome, Lady B.
Yep, that was all him. Apparently there's a question you want to ask us, Mike?
No, Anna's just picking on me because I don't want to watch that House of the Dragon show anymore. Hot D. Like I bailed out. I don't do my watch parties anymore.
Mm-hmm.
She's feeling neglected and rejected. So she wants me to watch it. She wants you guys to
really
convince
good.
me.
Hey, Arcasul.
Ale.
I think I'm 2 episodes behind if I were to pick it up again.
I think that's where you left off.
I would say
the time jump. The time jump's where I left off.
Yeah.
I would say the last episode it has some really good moments. I'm not stamping the show yet, even though I'm enjoying it. I'm still so mad at Game of Thrones. So,
and that's very similar to where I'm at. There's some really good scenes in this last episode. It's like 2 scenes and then an hour of, come on, pick up the pace, man. Please.
Let me pose this to you. And I've heard this on a couple different takes now. What do you guys think about the idea that they're going to go through all of this and then redo Game of Thrones televised version?
That might be admitting failure too much. I think they'd wait another 10, 15
What happens if
years.
George dies?
I don't.
It would be far down the road if it were to happen. It's not.
It's a long walk. I'm saying it's a long walk. But it's something I'm hearing a lot now when I'm watching other, because I watch other people's reviews and takes on it for amusement. It keeps me company while I'm doing other shit, and I'm hearing that come up across on the more positive streams.
Yeah,
right
so
now,
Adam, what I would say to that is if George actually publishes Winds of Winter and Dreams of Spring, and there's like literary marvels like his earlier books were, and everyone agrees like, holy shit, that's the series we wanted, and that's how it should end. Then I could kind of see, let's do that like Game of Thrones. Let's completely redo it.
At least season 8.
Yeah, or maybe that technology to animate dead people like Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia has gotten so good by this point in time that you can just kind of pick it back up, season 6, and go with an animated Tyrion Lannister through to the end. I don't know.
I've been questioning it, but I really don't think they ever will because it is admitting defeat.
Yeah.
It is a possibility, but if they do it, they're going to be waiting till they do this whole anthology series, wait 10 years, and then completely just say, hey, it's been 10 years. Why don't we bring this back?
Jeremy, they need to admit defeat already because David Benioff and D.B. Weiss have directed one thing since Game of Thrones, and it was a Leslie Jones comedy special on Netflix.
Oh, God.
To build off what Dane just said, though, considering it's a completely different executive committee at HBO now, would admitting defeat really be a problem? Because it's not their legacy that they're trying to defend. Or let's say Zaslav is not trying to protect that legacy. Zaslav just wants to make money.
And that's more the Warner Brothers side than the HBO side. I think the HBO side is still the same.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm positing.
I think Arcasul brings up a good point. If Hot Tea ends correctly and they don't do what I'm afraid that they're going to do, that season 1's going to be good. Season 2, they're going to start injecting stuff, and season 3 is going to be hot shit. If they do it correctly and end it strong, they could just bring it back. That could be their way of leading into, hey, this is our way of admitting that we effed up. Here we go.
Yeah. It's always a possibility, and it depends on really, like how you're saying, how they land the series, because Game of Thrones at one point was the biggest franchise in the world for years, and now everyone hated it for years until Hot D kind of brought it back. So it's all about how you finish, not how you start.
Remember too,
it's a little different for me because I was never a fan of Game of Thrones. Like I watched the first season and I thought it was pretty good. But then it just kind of fell off from there. I thought the first season was pretty solid, and then I thought it was trash from that point forward. A lot of people hated me for years because I was like, yo, this show isn't going anywhere. And I know trash when I see it. Everybody was coming at my throat. They were like, yo, we're gonna kill you. If you weren't black, we'd lynch you. And all that. I'm like, listen, people. I know trash when I see it. Let me help you. Then the final season came, and then it all became then like, oh my god, it is trash. I know that. I said it 6 years ago. but now, lo and behold, like Jed, what you said, like, oh, first it was the biggest thing on planet Earth, and then it became this like the any chance I get, to throw some shade at Jed, a redheaded stepchild. It just became that off jump, and I'm just like Hot D, like me, once again, I have no investment in this show whatsoever. I haven't watched 30 seconds of it. But from what I understand is that it is a return to form. Now, I don't know if that's accurate or not because I'm not a fan. But if it goes down the exact same train, you have a first season that's golden and then it just declines from there. I have no vetted interest in investing in the show. I mean, that's just me. I mean, but maybe someone else feels differently. I just don't have it.
Yeah. At this point, I'm so mediocre on it that I'm struggling to care enough to review it every week. Like, there's no way I'm going to review season 2 at this point. Just don't care.
Jed, if you don't mind, I got a question for you guys, and it's a discussion I've had with others. I think personally that a lot of people's positive reaction to House of the Dragon is that finally there's something that's not complete garbage. Right?
I agree.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So people are beginning to think, oh, thank fucking God, this is not Star Wars or Disney Wars. This is not Rings of Power that makes no sense. This is not a butchery like Wheel of Time. It actually kind of follows the books. But for me, my standards have actually gone up in the last few years. And a part of this has come from diving into theory about what makes a good story, about critics, people explaining why you hate what you kind of feel like you hate. Like, I had never heard of the term Mary Sue until Star Wars The Force Awakens. And then the Max Landis video comes out and he explains to everybody kind of wondering, hey, if you thought that Rey was a bad character, this is why. She's what we call a Mary Sue. She could do everything from the beginning. And we typically like characters that have a growth arc in a story. And I go, I never actually analyzed that in that kind of rubric before, but now I can't forget it. And then you start diving into precisely what makes good stories good. The hero's journey, the 7 different types of story, that you need to have plot and characters and setting, and that you like characters that are capable, or that they're very moral, or that they're what's the other one? Like, there are certain rules to doing stories, and the more you understand it from a technical point of view, the more you enjoy it when it's good. And the net result of learning all of this is my standards have gone up. And that's not what I'm getting with House of the Dragon. I think the people that are reacting positively to House of the Dragon are kind of saying, oh, finally we have a show that's like a C+. And because I've only been seeing shit shows for years now, this feels like an A+ show. And I'm sitting back and going, it's actually not that good. If anything, maybe 5 years ago, if they released this simultaneously with Game of Thrones season 4, I wouldn't have seen what I find wrong with it. But now that my eyes have been opened, I don't like it.
That's a very similar thing that happened to me, Dane, because at a certain point, up until about 2018, 2019, I was very much on the border of being just a stan and a consumer who just loved everything put before him. I was dangerously close to that type of mentality. And then Doctor Who season 11, Game of Thrones season 8, and Captain Marvel, in fact, is what kind of started to snap me slowly out of that mentality. So my standards have gone up since those things have happened. So I understand what you're coming from, especially. And it's interesting that you bring up rules and the structures of stories, because I don't think these writers these days even know what those are, considering they're talentless. But I think the bigger thing is they've associated so many rules and structures with racism that assuming that if you say rules, it's racist, and so they want to avoid it at all costs, or sexist, or phobe, whatever.
What you just described also is essentially what's going on with Andor right now. It's the same thing, and they're forgetting the same rule. You guys said it earlier. All roads still lead to season 8. All roads in Disney Star Wars still lead to Jake Skywalker in the sequel trilogy. But people who are not EU people, who don't want to even think that there's anything beyond just what's put on a screen, they see this Andor show, which to the normal fan, to the normal even fan who just wants to see Star Wars, they have not been outright offended. Unlike, like Dane said, you've elevated. In my case, I am an EU guy. I am offended by everything Disney Star Wars. So to watch what they're doing with the show, it's just as offensive as everything else because I'm looking at it from the other angles and seeing what was already done before and done better. But there's the cognitive dissonance. You have to understand, cognitive dissonance is playing a large role in all of this alongside what you said. People might know something is wrong, but they're so desperate to rationalize that it's okay that they're going to convince themselves otherwise, do whatever mental gymnastics they need to. And I think for a fact that, especially with a lot of people reviewing Game of Thrones, a lot of people are also reviewing the same trash that we're reviewing at the same time. And something that, as you said, is maybe just a C level show. It feels like BB plus because everything else has been so bad, and they don't feel like they're being talked down to. They don't feel like they're being lectured. Even if there is some woke points, a perfect example, I'm going to give it again in a second. Even there is a couple woke things in there. It's not the bludgeon to the head. It's not freaking out. I mean, perfect example right now.
It's a hypodermic needle into the fucking brain. But
yeah, I've been letting it stack up, and the other night I was up late for reasons. I watched a show on Starz called The Serpent Queen, based on the life of Catherine de' Medici, one of the most powerful females in Western European history. I studied her as a youth, did a paper on her once. The show is about 90% historically accurate, which to me, that's what matters the most. Mm-hmm. Are there a couple of woke points in there? Yes, but they're not altering the history. Therefore, I'm able to overlook it, and I'm not going to call it total woke trash because the history is still being accurate. Yeah, a couple small changes here and there, a couple glossed over moments here, a couple dramatized moments there. But you know what? The actual history is remaining intact. And as someone who enjoys period dramas, I'm okay with it so far. Probably 5 episodes left, maybe 6. We'll see where it goes. And my response is, you want political intrigue? There's actual political intrigue taken from history, where these people were literally trying to get each other thrown out and killed all the time, not the manufactured political intrigue they claim is an Andor. So I equate it's the same level there. I think.
Well,
go ahead, Jed.
Mine's just really fast. But even just simple historical accuracy or lore adaptation accuracy is such a simple thing that it feels like we do need to praise it now, though, because it's so rare. I mean, you're lucky that she wasn't trans or black.
Well, they did add a black maid in there that should have no reason being there. That's what people are complaining about. Why is this black maid there? And my response is, well, yeah, that's a little woke, and she acts woke, but the stories she's telling
Joan of Arc trans.
But the stories she's telling to the black maid, it's the vehicle that we're getting the story of her experiences up until that moment in history. So I accept it because the black maid's in all of 3 minutes of every episode. She's not a major character. She's not a historical character infringing on the history. So I'm okay.
Onesie-twosies could have absolutely happened.
Yeah.
But like what you've all been saying, like what Dane's point was, and Adam and Jed, all the stuff that you're saying, I agree 110%. C- is the new A+ in people's eyes. Me, I grew up, I was known, my brother calls me the professional hater. When I came up growing up, I watched classic films. We're talking Citizen Kane. We're talking To Kill a Mockingbird. We're talking Birds. All Alfred Hitchcock, entire Alfred Hitchcock collection. Like I grew up watching classical films and all the other stuff. So everything to me, like those films were the gold standard. Like then like my favorite film of all time, still to this day, is 2002's version of The Count of Monte Cristo. I love that movie. Do I touch myself to that film? Maybe. It is tremendous. It's absolutely wonderful, and I love it. That film was in my opinion, was the greatest film of all time, in my personal opinion, until The Dark Knight came. And that was in 2008. And then I saw that all the elements that I loved, as far as character development, storytelling, action sequences, stakes, all wrapped up in a beautiful film. And now I look at that film and I compare it to everything else that's being dropped as we speak. That stuff is practically Jesus walking on water compared to everything else that's being dropped today. Like when I was called a professional hater, because I had a high standard for what my entertainment is supposed to represent. As I said on multiple times in my reviews and everything else, how we learn as a species is through media. That is how we educate ourselves. It goes into our brains and it processes all the way through. It develops our personality, develops our morality. Everything that we believe in is based on media, whether it's pictures, video games, movies, television, whatever. And the schlock that's being dished out today that people are now dubbing as, oh, this is still good, because it's not as bad as the previous nonsense. Calendar's right. Music as well. Very good. And it infuriates me to no end when I have people come to me and say, oh, Dre, hey, did you see this mediocre piece of trash? I'm like, no, I didn't see that mediocre piece of trash. Like, oh, well, it's really, really good because of this and that, and it's not as woke as this. I said, listen, when does not woke equal good? So because of not being bludgeoned over the head with trans this or black this or woman this, it's good? No, it's not good. You're just taking away one negative quality of poorly written garbage. So I'm like, so there's some folks that like Adam was mentioning about Andor, how some folks are like, oh, Andor,
they're freaking out over it. They're freaking out. Oh, it's adult Star Wars.
I'm like, bruh, it's mediocre at best.
Because there's no two-person, one coat.
It's not even mediocre. It's not Star Wars. It's just random. It's random sci-fi.
All. I keep making the case. If you took every minor reference they've made to Star Wars, every visual reference that they've lately put in, and sat somebody down in front of it and said, watch this, they would not know it's Star Wars. They could not call it Star Wars because it isn't Star Wars at all.
Well, something you said, Dre, that connects to something that I always say, that wokeness is primarily used as an excuse for bad writing. It's a scapegoat. But the bad writing is still ultimately there if you remove the woke. Like Triss. I hate how Triss was written in the Witcher TV series. They race swapped her as an excuse to be lazy. She is a nothing burger of a character. She's empty. There's nothing there. And so that is wokeness being an excuse for lazy writing in that instance. But at the end of the day, even if they hadn't race swapped her, that same writing is still there. So at this point, maybe a few shows have less woke in it, but the bad writing still exemplifies what these products are.
Well, and Jed, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'll be straight up. Let's just say you have a show with a woke premise, whatever it may be. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? There's a woke premise, but it's well written.
Mm-hmm.
I can still be like, hey, despite its flaws, I see where the talent is. Mm-hmm. You can't give me woke and bad writing. Because like I'm at the point of my watching career where I'm like, okay, I know woke is gonna be there. Let's just call it like it is. It's happening. In minuscule amounts or large amounts. It's gonna be there. Yeah. Give me something I can sink my teeth into.
So but you won't do that either. I got a quick point to make, but first I want to plug two things. Dre, if you haven't read it, you should. And you should.
It's so good. That thing is massive, but it's great.
But you should pick up the Everyman's Library Edition. That's what all these things on my back shelf are. They're absolutely gorgeous books. And Adam, you're talking about Black people in European history. What's actually a real big shame is Pushkin, phenomenal Russian writer, actually part Black. And he writes, there's an incomplete story, The Blackamoor of Peter the Great. It's not 100% finished, but there is a story written by Pushkin about his ancestor who was a Moor or from Africa in the court of Peter the Great of Russia. And here's a portrait of Pushkin, and you can see the ancestry in there.
Yeah,
and he was very proud of his black ancestry. You know who else was a great, phenomenal writer in European history who was part black? Alexander Dumas.
That's true. That's true.
He wrote some great stuff.
Alexander Dumas. That's true.
I just want to say,
So the
push
stories are there, but yeah, go ahead, Jed.
Oh, I had to say, push get in.
Nice.
Oh,
I would
nice
kick you
Pushkin
off
fun.
your own stream if I could for that one.
But it was hinted at, and part of the reason why I think we see woke shit in media is not because they think it's good. It's a defense mechanism. You see it. I called it with Wheel of Time. It was the diversity shield, where you see it in casting.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in more than just media, but it's they know they're going to get criticized because their work is crap, and they want to be able to paint the critics as bigots so they don't have to answer for the crap that they did. Now, the most non-media example that I can think of this is actually the soccer tournament, the Euros in 2020, where England picked five people to shoot penalties at the end of the final, and the final three were inexplicable choices. They were young, inexperienced players. All three of them were black, but they had never taken a professional penalty before. There were other players on the team that volunteered to take the penalty, and it made sense in an outcome analysis. If England won the tournament, then those three players who shoot the final three penalties in the penalty shootout would have been the heroes. And if they miss, you can always count on three idiots on Twitter to say something racist, and you change the debate away from what was the coach fucking thinking to will not stand for that. And they drop the issue. And that's not a media thing. That was soccer, but the calculus is the same, right? And the really racist thing about all this is the people that are being used as a shield to defend someone else's idiotic decision-making, whether that's bad writing, bad coaching, you name it. And that's what I would be upset about.
Dane's absolutely right. And I build off what he says there in a similar metaphor. The whole race swapping type stuff, it's the doorway through which the wokeism walks through, because that's the first thing they always do. Because to the point is, people are afraid. There's where the Dane's shield metaphor comes in. It's the shield because people are afraid to call it out because they don't want to be called racist. So that's the door through it all walks through, and then all the changes get made because nobody said at first, why did you race swap this character? Because they don't have the SJW crowd attack them and go, you're a racist, shut up, bigot, shut up, hate-filled monster. And then all the other shit happens, and then we complain, well, why'd all this get changed? Well, why didn't you stop it at the first thing with the race swap? That's the first thing they always do. So, yeah, that Dane's absolutely right.
It's the first thing you can see, right? Before you see a trailer, you get the casting announcements.
It's the red flag.
And before you get the first stills, it's a casting announcement. You go on IMDb, and you're able to see what does this character look like. And if that doesn't match, people might complain about it. It's like, this isn't my headcanon. But that's the game. That's what they're actually playing at. It's nefarious, it's insidious, and it's really racist. It's really they're projecting their own racism onto their critics, is what it is.
Yep.
Absolutely right. And as I've said on several streams with you, my good brothers, I've been black a long time.
No,
Really?
no.
How do you become black?
No shit, Sherlock.
And that's what Joe like it, and I hate it so much when we are quote unquote included for reasons that are inexplicable. When I see, especially things like what Adam was mentioning about like historical pieces and things like that, like race swapping in of itself is offensive to any community that's being swapped out, and I don't know how the disconnect is happening.
Whereas Eric Chulai pointed out, being swapped in is it's offensive too, right? It's like, what?
Very offensive.
My stories weren't good enough, right?
Yeah, think about
Why can't you get Pushkin, for fuck's sake, right?
Because they don't recognize black people as being legitimate. You have to have a
Exactly.
white character and give it a hand-me-down.
Exactly.
Bigotry
chess
of
piece,
low
too.
expectations.
They're just a chess
Yeah.
piece to be moved around the board.
Yep. And it's nonsense. There's so many great black characters that's been created and designed for decades. Other people, other historical figures, whatever you want to put together, people of color, whatever language they want to use, then plenty. But the only time when we have value is if we're swapped out for the white man. That's ridiculous. That's everyone should be offended by that action. White folks and black folks should be offended by this because they, like what you just said.
It's a game of economics, though, Dre. You know, when they make something, they look at the target demographic and they say, who's going to come and pay money or who's going to subscribe to watch this? And when it's, let's say I'm going to throw a number out, if 70% of them are going to be straight white males, then they're not going to do those stories you're talking about because they know that those straight white males aren't going to go watch whatever that story is featuring the black guy. So what they do then is they find some white properties they know that 70% plus are going to go watch, and they say, let's just race swap in. That way we get the representation and we still get the story that all the white guys want to go see, and they'll give us the money. And what's happening is, because it is agenda driven, it's shoehorned in, it's obvious, it's tokenism, you get a lot of pushback, you get a lot of people angry about it, and then they don't see it, they don't watch it, they don't care. And then they go, well, you're a bunch of racists because, you know, this is your story and you don't want to see it. Well, obviously it's because you're racist. So it's a lot of problems there, but ultimately it's because they know that certain stories won't sell. Like that movie we're talking about right now, The Woman King or whatever it is, right? Nobody wanted to go see it, right? Or Bros, right? Bros. Nobody wanted to go see Bros. I know, yeah, right? Who wanted to see it, right? So we're all bigots and we're all racists because they took a story, let's say, and they swapped this out or whatever, or they changed the story. But they don't want to make the stories of, let's say, more woke. And when they do, they fail, and they know that. So that's why they have to do this. So that's why they got to take Lord of the Rings or that world and do some race swapping. They got to take the Wheel of Time, do the race swapping. They got to take any Marvel characters. They got to do the race swapping because they're trying to get that target demographic to throw down their money because they want to see their favorite character. They want that group, and that's a big group. It's a huge group in the fantasy, science fiction, comic book, games, all that. The biggest demographic is straight white kids, straight white
100%
males.
correct. Absolutely correct. And
you can't have that money if you're going to make well, I mean Blade's the exception, I guess, right? Stuff like that. There are really great black characters. There are exceptions.
Yeah, there are quite a few. There's quite you have Blade, you can have Static, you can have Black Lightning, you can have
Static Shock.
Yeah,
that's what my favorite movie was for 2 years of my life.
Great.
Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah.
Remember the Titans is so
fun. Like there's a lot of black characters, especially in comics and things like that. Icon, he's great.
Yeah.
But once again,
those were not tokenized, right? They were the story about those characters that were awesome, right?
But Mike,
what's that one with Cuba Gooding Jr. where he was the guy that joined the Navy SEAL, not Navy SEALs, but the diving team that were underwater, the whatever it was. Love that story, right? That was a great story. It's not because the characters are black that we as I'm looking at myself here that I won't go see a movie. That's bullshit. I love those movies. It is when you take my favorite thing, we're going to make it like my favorite thing, Conan. We're going to make a new Conan movie coming next year. And it stars a black guy. I'm like, why? What? This is not my Conan, right? Exactly. I won't see it. Racist, motherfucker.
And this is the thing, Mike. This is the thing. You as a white man and me as a black man, we feel the exact same way. Let me tell you something. My Conan better be big. He better be white. And he better have long flowing hair. That is just because that
big dick energy.
Absolutely, and that's because that's
not that big.
It is, but that's the character. You know what I'm saying? And just like for anything else, if the character originally designed is a white man or a white woman or a black man or a Mexican, I don't care as long as they are being accurately represented for what the material is. Go Billy berserk. We're going to sit there and say, like we've mentioned before, the story's going to be trash. We're going to protect ourselves by making them whatever race, fill in the blank. And so if you do say something, you're a racist. No, I'm not a racist. You're just trash.
Well,
my beef isn't with the race. My beef is with you.
Here's a quick comment or observation for you guys. But how much would this be less of an issue if Hollywood just stopped adapting comic books, stopped adapting or remaking old movies, and fucking made something original? Because you guys were discussing, I was trying to think back to, okay,
we need more black creators.
Well, but what were some great black characters?
Really what it's about. No,
you guys
seriously,
mentioned Blade already, but Samuel L. Jackson in the 90s, I fucking loved every single movie he was in, even Snakes on a Plane. But it's like Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance, fantastic. Pulp Fiction, fantastic. This is the best part of The Phantom Menace. Like everything Samuel L. Jackson's.
I grew up with Eddie
Does
Murphy.
he need to be Nick Cage? I don't care about Nick Cage. Eddie Murphy, same thing, like Dr. Dolittle. They race swapped him from the children's book, but did we really give a shit? No.
But this is the thing, Dane, and I'm glad you mentioned those examples because we didn't care because it wasn't a problem. It wasn't about his race. Now it's all about the race. Not only are they switching the characters, but now the story is being modified for the person that is now being replaced for. Like you said,
but it's also being modified in a lot of instances. They're taking another property and they're modifying it for film. But they didn't used to do that with every single movie, right? So maybe this is more of a symptom of the Marvel situation that we're in, where we're just kind of expecting 5 films a year that are going to be based off of previously existing comics with, a previous visual representation, which you didn't have for Die Hard. There were no Die Hard comics, right?
No, it's because of corporatism. It's because of what corporatism has brought. They got all these success, so they want to hit that success each and every time. But now they're failing, so they've done this point to that everything is a formula. You have to have this amount of this amount of this amount of this. You can't have them feel sad for too long, so you got to throw in this crappy joke. And you just got to keep doing that, and at that point, these products become soulless.
And if you want to get nominated for an award, you have to get the appropriate representation box.
Yes. Well, it's hypocrisy of the finest order because of that one term existing and being prominent, whitewashing. Because that term exists and is a problem, it means hypocrisy. Everyone flipped out when the Ancient One was switched to a Celtic woman over an Asian man. Rightfully so.
Yes.
But it's only on Twitter. That was the only time they were mad about it.
And where'd all that Stop Asian Hate go? It's all gone now.
Where'd it go?
Long gone.
But I hate having to do this, but Tuesday night's main event just started, so we're going to start bleeding viewership. So I think it's time we wrap things up. But I want to wrap things up with an image to really hurt Adam. I like to end things off in a painful.
I haven't
way.
eaten dinner yet, man. Don't do something.
Do it.
That's why I quickly finished.
Oh.
Is that supposed to be Galadriel?
That's Galadriel and Halbrand Sauron. That's more Tumblr art, or is this all, either way? God, please, you know what? I think do it. It's all Lady Balefire and I want from the rest of this season. It's all we want.
Do it.
He's just saying you can put it in. That's what he's saying right now.
Hilt first.
Oh God.
Oh my God, it's bad. It's bad. I want it to happen though. I do. That will make my week if that happens.
I want him to reveal that he's Sauron in the deed. I want them to be going at it, and he's like,
as told us how it
at what
happens
part?
today.
Like,
I know that's just how I wished it would happen. Like as he's finishing,
too.
he's like, "I am Sauron."
Oh God.
She shouts out Halbrand. He says, "No, call me Sauron."
You ain't gotta get the gangster glasses to come back.
It could happen. It could happen.
Lady Bellfire, she wants.
what if it's right at the beginning? She's going down on him, and then he says he's Sauron, and then she keeps going.
Oh yeah,
and then you smash.
I don't need that imagery in my head.
It's like an abusive relationship. Like she's almost getting off on the fact that it's her villain.
She knows what she needs.
I think when he says that, she goes, "Oh no." All right, get out of here before they take your channel down.
All right. Well, that final episode comes out regardless on Thursday. We're all gonna have reviews, and this is Mordor country, and at least it'll be over if nothing else. But let's go around in the horn, say our farewells. Mike, OBG70, what is going on with you? Anything you want to plug?
We got D&D tomorrow.
D&D tomorrow. Yes.
That's it for the week.
Is Dane gonna be my girlfriend again?
No, well, we're hoping Squeak comes back, but Dane is he has things to do. He's a busy guy.
I got too many D&D games.
He was gracious to come in last Wednesday, but we can't count on him each time. So but we are working on getting a 6th person so that we have an alternate. Like we have somebody that if we lose somebody, we have 5 still.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, and Dermy Wormy, how about you, sir? Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me on. It was last minute, but I really enjoy coming on with you guys. It's a lot of fun. Only thing, well, sub to my channel. I'll have a movie out, a video out tomorrow afternoon. Then tomorrow night, I believe Silver's planning on coming back on. We're gonna play some more Gundam Evolution because that game, I'm getting addicted to that game. And I got 2nd place on the last round I played yesterday, so I was actually happy. And we'll continue from there.
Awesome. Well, what about patently evil Adam? Got any more evil schemes coming up in the future?
Well, tomorrow is Andor. Tomorrow is also Natural 20. Well, at the moment, it's not 20. I'm waiting to hear back from my guest. He is not secondary confirmed at the moment. So if there's no Natural 20, then we're going to go play some games tomorrow night. Other than that, Thursday, She-Hulk finale. Thank God, Dre, we're done. We're done. And there's Rings of Power finales, the week of finales, Saturday, Mortal Country, Sunday Roundtable, and any of the other videos in between. I am trying something new. I'm testing something, putting out a video at the same time every day. I'm seeing if the algorithm likes that. Playing around with that right now. Seeing if it's picking up. So far, 2 days in a row, doing decently by my channel standards. So there's that. So yeah, Jed, again, congratulations, man. You got through it.
Appreciate it.
Home run on the first pitch. Congratulations, man.
I appreciate that. And what about you, Dane? Got any White Cloak stuff coming up?
Yeah, so still, it's mostly Pips and Alex that are making the other better content, but still on the rewatch. Our first part of the finale episode dropped today, so we're in the home stretch. We've got 5 more parts to go. We're bringing back a lot of guests, and for those who migrated to the White Cloaks Discord, now called the Band of the Red Hand, you can watch us record them on Saturday. If not, they'll drop on Tuesday. But coming up, we've got Lady Balefire, we've got Aludra, and Hannah coming back, who are previous guests of ours. So on the next rewatch, we will actually have a women's circle, which should be fun. So the 3 of us will actually be at least on equal footing with 3 lady fans of Wheel of Time. So it'll be interesting where that goes. So check us out.
I don't know why you guys are doing that. I can't imagine when Rings of Power Season 2 comes out that Adam and I would do a rewatch together of Season 1 together. That is not
I don't need to. I don't need to. Why?
It's a crap mining exercise, but it's been fun, right? I think we said at the outset that we tried to find laughter and tears like Rand did. We just have to, admit the show's terrible, and I think the one thing that these show creators can't stand is mockery. So that's what we're trying to do in spades, because we want it to get canceled really quick.
It's a lot of fun watching your show. It's a lot of fun.
Thanks, Mike.
And Dre from Brutal Planet Comics, you have a new comic book out.
Yes, indeed. So, Trouble, the Rhythm Within, Part 7 is here. As Mike
Get these first.
Throwing up 1 through 6.
You need 1 through 6.
Yeah, I get 1 through 6 first. You can get it SpinWiz Comics or the SpinWiz app. Or if you want a personal signed editions, y'all can just holler at me. It's all good. Holler at me. So this week, tomorrow, I have a very good indie comics interview tomorrow with a fellow creator. She's new to the game, so I am her first podcast, so I'm feeling good about that. I love being somebody's first. Hello. So that's gonna be really cool. That drops at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Thursday, She-Hulk finale review. Oi! Oh, thank God. Thank God it's over. Not looking forward to that. Friday might be kicking back, doing a little streaming and all that great stuff. And then, of course, round it up on Sunday at the round table, kicking up with all the homies discussing what happened during this week. So it should be a pretty fun week. And Jed, once again, big ups to you, brother, for getting past the threshold. Hopefully mine gets approved soon, as long as they skip over all my Comicsgate folks interviews, and then everything will be all right.
All right. Well, all these beautiful people's links are in the description down below. Definitely go and subscribe to all of them. For me, I have D&D tomorrow on Mike's channel, like he said, and I'm going to be putting out a review of the Winchesters tomorrow, which comes out tonight.
Really?
I'm going right after this. Just the pilot.
Oh,
I
the
just
look on
wanna
your
do the
face
pilot.
just said it all right there. You can't even hide the look on your face, man.
I was gonna watch that, and I really.
I don't wanna, but I'm just doing the pilot. I will not guarantee anything more than the pilot. But yeah, I'm gonna torture myself with that. Then of course my daily videos, Rings of Power review. This is Mordor Country, Round Table, House of the Dragon, and thank you to all the people who super chatted: Kayla Dare, Mike, Jaden, Dermy, Salty, Athena, and everyone else who was in the chat, Lady Bellfire, and his Gameland, Tranquil Waters. It's so great to have you guys here, and thank you for getting me here. But that's all that I have for today. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you guys all anon. Take care, everyone.
Congrats.
If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.